I need that sports encyclopedia. Where you at, Steve Kim? Got Trent in the cut.
What up, man? The real Coach JB. My main man, Big Smitty.
Are y'all ready for this?
Ground like something to prove it. Came to a conclusion that it's Smitty and JB and Smitty from West Coast to your side. Worldwide, we in your city. Keep it 150. We never change what's happening. Hurdle and get
In any metric, Coach, you cannot have Russell Wilson.
Nick gave me my first offer. Like, you got to have that store. You got to be marketable.
Hockey, football, baseball, then basketball.
Oh, I love this fucking show so much, man. Are you mixing light and dark at 11 a.m.?
I'm elated that I can be able to coach, that I can be able to mentor these kids, and give them everything that I've learned over the last 20 years.
Smitty and Jason Brown, killed it, yeah, it's a rap. We what the game's been missing, we switched it and filled the gap. Smitty and Jason Brown, we killed it, yeah, it's a rap. We what the game's been missing, we switched it and filled the gap.
You are now tuned in to the Coach JB Show.
Hello? Can you hear me? Derek. Man, God, I hate this dang phone line, man. I'm sorry, Jay. I spent all this dang money on this phone line, and the signal was horrible. I don't get it.
Guess what? All right, appreciate you. We got a new deal with Mint Mobile. I just saved your whole life in phone drama. Mint Mobile is now a new proud sponsor of the Coach JB Show with Big Smitty.
Stop playing.
Your problem's been solved.
We got a partnership with Mint Mobile? You talking about Ryan Reynolds, Mint Mobile? Stop playing right now. Hold on. Let me Google this real quick.
You can try mintmobile.com/CoachJB and get 3 months free when you use the promo code CoachJB.
Hey, man, I did a quick Google search real quick to make sure you wasn't playing around. They got plans as low as $15? They got plans for $30, unlimited everything. Speed, coverage, data, access to 5G, unlimited talk, text, mobile hotspots. You can talk in Mexico, talk in Canada, and they're built on the nation's largest 5G network. Are you kidding me, JB?
Hey, and everyone wants to know how hard it is to switch to your service. Big Wireless wants to think it's hard. They want you to think it's hard, Big Smitty, but switching to Mint is super easy thanks to digital eSIM cards, which most phones now have. You can sign up and activate immediately right on your phone from the comfort of your own home. Mint Mobile does it all. Short, fat, skinny, and tall. That's why the Coach JB Show with Big Smitty is proud new sponsor using promo code CoachJB. Try mintmobile.com. This is where it's at. We got it, Big Smitty.
So, hey, I'm switching over to Mint Mobile right now, JB. I'm done with this company I'm working with. They crazy. The line, it never works. The signal is out, and it costs too much money. I'm going over to Mint Mobile, JB, and y'all should do the same.
Big Smitty, I'm calling you right now.
JB, Mint Mobile.
Mint Mobile, clear as day. I hear you clear. The new promo code Coach JB right here, 3 months free. Mint Mobile, try mintmobile.com/CoachJB and get you there free. 3 months off, family deals, all deals, short, fat, skinny, and tall. Mint does it all. Proud new sponsor. Much love. We'll see you later. Peace. What up, man? We're back in the building. The ban has been lifted. We are back. T-Rich Thursday. Trent Richardson joins us later on. We got a fully loaded lineup on this fine T-Rich Thursday on the Coach AB Show with Big Smitty. Our first show of the new year. Member up. Everybody out there, pound the like, subscribe, become a member if you're not one. We got a lot going on. We've missed a week of the world's sports, real life, real talk, all that on the realest show on planet Earth. And we got a loaded one today for everybody out there. So pound the like button, subscribe, become a member if you're not one. We are finally back, man. I know Big Smitty's thirsty. He's been missing in action. We got a lot going on, man. I'm going to give you the rundown real quick of the day. We got Steve Kim joining us. Big Matt McChesney, T-Rich, Trent Richardson. Tomorrow, we got former quarterback extraordinaire, played in the NFL a long, long time. Got to play with Cam Newton. He's going to have some great Cam Newton stories. Derek Anderson will be on the show tomorrow. Plus, our lawyer extraordinaire, Michigan alumni, Wolverine specialist, Michelle will be joining us tomorrow, as everyone loves Michelle's segment. She's going to come on tomorrow and talk about Michigan and the Wolverines, plus all the legalities after the season ends and where Jim Harbaugh is going. So we got the last 2 days of the week loaded for you guys. Jeff Nadu tomorrow. Don't miss it. It's going to be fire to end the week. We are back, though. We will explain to the people when Smitty gets on what happened, what's going on. So drop a super chat, become a member, go get Mint Mobile, AQMS, Bet Online, Prize Picks, everybody else is a proud sponsor of the Coach AB Show. We got a lot going on today. Michigan versus Washington. Everybody got to see that. I was in Arizona. My boy Pat Perez watching the game with the Slapstick Bullies. And tough loss. Bama suffered. Tough loss. Texas suffered. Put these 4 games, but these 2 games with the players playing showed us how great the game can be. We're going to dive into that more. Has Lamar wrapped up the MVP? Truly wrapped up the MVP? We're going to break that down. Are the Ravens penciled in? For everybody out there, are you penciling the Ravens in, or are you writing them down in ink as a Super Bowl lock? We're going to break that down. Brock Purdy selected to the Pro Bowl along with 9 other 49ers. We're going to get into that. Tyreek Hill's house caught fire in Miami. I don't know what he was doing. We're going to break that down. Manny Pacquiao rematch with Floyd Mayweather. We're going to get into that one. It's going to be shocker. Get Steve Kim on for that. Ravens to sit Lamar Jackson, their final game of the season. Again, we're going to dive into that. One of the Alabama Tide kids named McLaughlin are among 9 other players to enter the transfer portal after losing to Michigan. This is just the landscape we're in. It's the name of the game. Patrick Mahomes' brother has felony charges dropped. I wonder how much Patty Mahomes paid to get his brother off. Motherfucker, look at him. Patrick Mahomes. We're going to break that down. Zach Wilson out again, possibly ending his tenure with the Jets. Still not cleared to play. It's been 3 weeks. Interesting. Aaron Rodgers being sued by Jimmy Kimmel after making comments on Pat McAfee show. We're going to dive into that. Eagles, Brown, wide receiver prima donna, as I stated on this show months ago, has divided the locker room, as I said months ago. And when a quarterback looks bored out of his mind and disinterested like Jalen Hurts does, it's usually because of a whiteout in the locker room. We're going to dive into that as well. Packers, Alexander suspended after going out on a coin flip. We haven't been able to talk about that. We're going to dive into that. Are the Milwaukee Bucks in trouble as they lose back-to-back games to the Smitty's Indiana Pacers? We're going to dive into that one. Lakers lose to the Heat. LeBron matchup with his old team. He looks horrible. He looks old and sick all of a sudden. Apparently he was sick. What moves do the Lakers need to make at the deadline? And then the college football playoff natty. We're going to break down the natty playoff picture. We're going to dive into that as well. But before we get started, we got a loaded lineup today. But without further ado, the Coach AB Show with Big Smitty is how we operate. Our Far East Side, Naptown's finest, LeBron hairline having, Ball State alum, Fox Sports legend. We got a lot to break down today. But without further ado, clap it up for Big Smitty.
We back, baby.
You've been waiting for it. You got drool and shit.
I've been drooling. I couldn't even sleep all night. I just been sitting in this chair staring to this camera like this. Just waiting for this moment, waiting for this show. They try to hold us back. They try to hold us down, but you can never hold a real one down too long, man. What's going on, chat, man? If you team Smitty, drop a Smitty in the chat right now. I need to see who with me early this morning because I'm cooking JB all show long. Oh,
diving it in. We've been missed. I know we've been missed by the fan base. Appreciate everybody. Pound the like, subscribe, become a member. I'm sure they may have. We got a lot to discuss. But first of all, this show is brought to you by Mint Mobile. It's brought to you by AQMS. It's brought to you by Prize Picks and Bet Online. But first of all, AQMS, make sure you go check them out. Call 1-888-233-3110. If you got anybody that needs to move a car, a house, a dog house, a couch, a side chick, some side dick. If you got anybody you need to move, check out AQMS. Use my phone number right there, 888-233-3110. Latrell Flowers in the building. One of my former players. He's back. Appreciate Latrell, Brandon, everybody that's in the chat. Pound the like, subscribe, become a member. If you're not a member, become one now.
Right now.
And we're looking into some other things. We are, but let's get you quote of the day first. Let's start you off with the quote of the day, brought to you by betonline.ag. So use the promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, get you 50% off plus welcome bonus. Quote of the day. It's a cold one because we've been gone a minute. A salary is a drug to make you forget about your dreams.
God.
Just make sure you're clear about that. People work jobs and people go chase a career. Which one are you? Are you working a job at Walmart that you'll never become something that you really want to be? Or are you working and chasing a career? There is a big difference between a career and a job, just so we're clear. Teaching may be a career. Educating is a career. Coaching could be a career. No offense to the Walmart bag workers and all the people out there that bag our groceries every day. I love y'all. But that's not a career. If that's something you really aspire to be, then maybe you should look at your life goals.
That was good.
But that's a call. A salary is a drug to make you forget about your dreams. Some people get a decent salary, Smitty, at a crappy job. I'm telling you right now.
Put that on the t-shirt, JB. That's one of your top 5 all times right there. Salary is a drug to make you forget about your dream, because that's real, man. So many people I know, they actually make a lot of money, but they are miserable at work. They're miserable. It's not what they really want to do. They're just doing it because they need the money to pay their bills. So, hey, that's one of my favorite ones.
Daddy always said, don't do what you have to do. Do what you want to do.
Pops.
Contrary to belief, brought to you by Prize Picks. Here's another one, Smitty. 90%, contrary to belief, 90% of your closest friends go away when you upgrade your life. True story. Just tell you no. 90%. I'm a witness. 90% of your real homies will disappear. And I'm gonna include family in there.
Dang.
I'm gonna include family in there too. When you upgrade your life, you'll see, you'll be like, damn, where the homies at? And then they'll flip it on you and be like, oh, JB big time. I ain't saying shit.
And it happens just naturally too, huh? It just kind of like it ain't nothing forced. It just you go to another level, they can't reach that level maybe, and it just happens. It happens that way.
And I'll bring you to my level. I'm the first one to give out everything I got. Trust me. Everyone that know me know. I'm a real, they know. But I ain't gonna also beg you to come. Gut instincts, Big Smitty. Gut instincts will always lead you in the right direction, contrary to belief.
Yeah.
I go with my gut, Big Smitty. I'm telling you right now, I go with my gut 90% of the time, man. I'll tell you right now.
The worst mistakes in my life have happened when I did not listen to my gut.
Yeah,
I'm trying to fight it.
Hell yeah. Poll question, Big Smitty, brought to you by Prize Picks. Head on over to Prize Picks and tell them the Coach JB show sent you. Can Washington beat Michigan on Monday night for the national championship? I'm calling it right now. Before the Final Four, I put $1,000 on Washington to win it all. Because at the time, the odds were better, and I'm going to win some money. You don't win as much money picking Michigan. But after watching the two, I told you on this very show, the heart of a champion is very, very underrated. I told you Washington was going to beat Oregon twice. I told everybody Washington was going to beat Texas. They're on a mission. I'm going to bring Quentin Moore back on the show, our tight end extraordinaire. for Washington. Had a couple big catches. I'm putting money on Washington to beat Michigan, dog. I think Harbaugh's looking past it. I think Harbaugh's going to be the new head coach for either the Chargers or the Raiders, from everything I'm hearing. And I think that this is the last game, but they will play loosely because he has nothing to lose, like he did against Michigan or Alabama. But I think Washington is going to be the national champ on the Pac-12's final hoorah as they exit the NCAAs as a conference.
Not a bad take. Not a bad take, man. I feel like you
Brian Case, shout out Brian Case. Sorry, but
shout out to Brian Case. I feel like you were Team Michigan for like the last few weeks, just because you had been saying that, hey, everyone's gonna be back in Harbaugh because of all the allegations and the suspensions and all that. So I'm surprised.
I'm Team Michigan, no question. I'm Team Michigan because of what's going on. Look what happened to us.
Yeah.
On this show.
Yeah.
I am Team Michigan because I truly want Harbaugh to win it because of what they went through to give the NCAA a big old crappy sandwich, to be honest.
I'm the same way. And be real, you didn't think that was going to beat Bama. I don't think you, and I can't wait till T. Rich on here.
I picked them, though. I picked Michigan to get it done. I knew I had picked Michigan to win it all. Remember on this show, I said I think they're going to win it all. But now, as you watch the games and you have a feel as a coach, Washington has a feel of one of the older SC teams when they had Matt Leinart. Penix gives me a lot of Matt Leinart vibes. The corners for Washington are some of the best in college football, along with the receivers. You got a great shooter and a quarterback with great receivers and great lockdown corners. Michigan is going to have a major problem throwing the football on Washington. They have no wideouts, a very, very average offense. Let's just keep it real, Michigan right now. And when Blake Corum is not running the football very, very well, they struggle to throw the football down the football field. Washington's number one strength is their secondary. Washington is going to torch Michigan in the back half, in my opinion. Now, having said that, if Washington can't block the front, but it goes both ways. I think Washington's D-line is really good. Michigan's D-line is really good. It's going to be a battle of attrition. They're going to battle it out the first quarter, in my opinion, but I think Washington will get hot. I think Michael Penix is showing you he's the best college quarterback going right now.
He's a beast.
Does he project to the NFL? I don't know. But right now, he's making Matt Leinart-esque throws that he made late in his career at SC that made SC one of the best college football teams in recent history. Washington gives me those vibes because of the left-handed QB, because of the receivers they have, because of the secondary they have. Washington scares me on that national title game, and I think they might pull away on Michigan.
I mean, listen, they do have the offensive power to do so, but Michigan has a hell of a defense, man, and that defense, I believe, can and will slow Washington down, which is why I'm going with Michigan. I think they're off. I mean, we can all agree their offense is nowhere near to the level of Washington's offense. I mean, JJ McCarthy, people are saying this guy, I'm hearing rumors that he's a first round guy. I'm gonna be real. I'm not seeing it.
Hell no.
He's decent, but he ain't like that. He ain't him and Penix are on a whole nother spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Penix, man, real quick, because I know we showing him love, but this guy he looked phenomenal. Like that might have been his best game all year. The way he was sliding in the pocket, avoiding sacks, but keeping his eyes down the field, and his release with that left hand is so quick. He throws bullets every single time he throws it. I mean, we got the highlights right here, and the accuracy, the pinpoint accuracy, man. The coverage wasn't even bad on a lot of these passes. It's just that if the ball is perfect as a corner or a safety, there's nothing you can really do about it. And that's what was happening, man. So I do think it's going to be one hell of a game. And I'm so happy that we got two great bowl games, like you mentioned. Like this was a true sign, JB, of what college football can be when all the great players play. Because to me, both these games, man, Texas, Washington, Bama, Michigan, these were two of the best games I've seen in years.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. We'll see, man. It's gonna be interesting, to say the least. Let's get into this thing, man. We got a lot going on. We're back, Big Smitty. We've been gone for a week, so we got put on suspension. They put us in the corner and timeout. We got put a little pull-up timeout. They put us on timeout. So look, we need all the subscribers in the world to get back on board. We need all the super chats we can. We lost over $800, just so we're clear. We lost $800 in revenue. So I'm gonna explain. We're the realest show on planet Earth. I'm gonna explain it in the most PC way possible. So we had Kirk Herbstreit on the show. Kirk Herbstreit had a great interview with him, and as soon as the show ended, we got a strike on we got an email. So I went into it, and it said title was Work Boot Wednesday. Now, that was from April 22nd, 2022.
Yeah.
Almost 2 years ago. It was a dolphin, like, humping a female on a dock. Well, that was like a viral video on YouTube at the time. So what happened was, for some reason, I think I put that on there. Like, I think it was called, I think we used it for like Hump Wednesday. It was Hump Day.
Mm-hmm.
So we used that as everybody on YouTube had it. It was 100 million videos of it on YouTube. So we got to contact the YouTube. We got, they suspended us for a week. And this was in April 22. We got a hold of somebody. We appealed it, and we won. So they lifted the week ban. The very next day, we were back live on the show. This was before Smitty, obviously. This when I was solo. So they confused that video with Kirk Herbstreit with video, which was on a Wednesday, contrary to belief, last Wednesday. And in my gut feelings, that is what they did. They confused the two for some reason, because the Kirk Herbstreit video is still not in our live video tab on our channel. Right now, it still is not up. Even though it can be watched from the viewers, it's not in our channel. We can't go to it and look at the algorithm or the analytics. So something definitely is wrong. They refuse to address it. They will not lift it. They kept us on a 1 week suspension for no reason whatsoever. I've had it out with YouTube for a whole week. I said, shit, since we're going to be down, I went to hang out with Pat Perez and Scottsdale. I took my dogs with me. So I did that. We chilled. And I know for a fact, because we aired the Kirk Herbstreit video, just the segment, 30-minute segment yesterday, and it still hasn't been cleared monetarily wise. So something's going on. We didn't even cuss on the Kirk Herbstreit interview. So I'm just telling you right now, I know what it is. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that don't like me. They're going to report us like soft pussy you are. Here's the thing about it. Matt McChesney also got suspended.
What?
And not only did he get suspended on here, he got suspended on IG Live. And it's because people report things. And I don't understand why YouTube, allows people to report things that aren't true, and then they just go with it. It's not even how the legal system works. Usually they'll let us go live until they do their investigation, innocent until proven guilty, and then bam. Some people, Big Smitty, said ESPN called in to be on the show. I don't know. I'm just saying. Some people, I talked to Kirk about it. I don't know. I'm just saying. But anyway, it is what it is. We're back. I can't really say bygones be bygones because I don't really. But we got screwed for a week. So we lost about $800 in revenue.
800? I barely paid rent this coming into everybody was Happy New Year. I'm like, I'm gonna pay rent. We ain't had the JB show, so
I know.
I was a little nervous.
We need 800 today. We need 800 from everybody in here. So if everybody just dropped $20, we'll get it back plus some. We'll get Smitty out the hood fund, all that. If everybody dropped $20, everybody be straight. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Shout out to Clay.
Much love. But look, we're not begging for no money. We just messing with you, but that's the truth. We lost $800. We're back. We're back in the building. And shout out to everybody that's a supporter. We love you guys. And or we love to hate on you. That's what y'all say. JB hater. Well, we love to hate you or we love you. So either way, appreciate you all being on the show. We are back. We got a loaded lineup. We are back. It's T-Rich Thursday. Trent Richardson will join us. Steve Kim, Matt McChesney. So I just wanted to give you the explanation on what happened. That is what happened. So now you know where we are. But let's dive into the first thing, Big Smitty. Michigan, Washington. Tough loss that Bama suffered. Tough loss that Texas suffered. So here's how it went down. Pat and I put a little bit of cheese. Pat had some money sitting on his thing. He was like, here, you log into your draft, because in Arizona, I could bet DraftKings the book. I can't do it in Cali. So when I go to Pat's house, I get on the book.
Okay. So
Pat gave me an undisclosed amount of money. You can hear a little money right there. And I'm like, oh, shit, let me see if I got that much in my account. So he give me the cash, but I got to have it in my account to put it on the draft book, right?
Right.
So lucky I had it. I drove the Beamer out there.
Ooh.
Well, let me explain this story. This is a long story, y'all. I'm not sure it's short.
We got time.
So I take the truck. I get the dogs. I lay the back down. I got the whole bed. I padded it, blanketed it up, pillows. I got a water bowl that you can lock for the dogs. Callie's anxiety as hell. She hates the car, especially for a 5-hour trip. So I get it comfortable as hell. Callie does not sit down ever in a car. She won't. She anxiety. She hyperventilating. It's just not good for her. So we smash the Pats. So we're there. We get there. Callie and Pat think it's like a zoo. They thought it was like the forest, the jungle. They're like, what is this Taj Mahal this mansion? They're running around. They don't even know. They never got to the whole part of the house to this day. So we're there 2 days with them. Shout out Lucy, Dustin. Shout out to you guys. We're there for 2 days, and then Pat's kids come over. Pat got a real little baby, 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. And Ash is not going to ever hurt nobody, but Ash has never seen kids, number one. Number two, I gave Callie weighs 130 pounds. Dog. I gave her 4 Benadryl. She laughed at me. That didn't do shit. Benadryl don't do nothing to pit bulls. Just FYI out there. You could get Benadryl all you want to dogs. Pit bulls, it ain't going to do nothing. So, Callie's great. You know, she don't do nothing. She right there with the kids, whatever. Ash, I got to hold him the whole time he don't jump, because he'll jump on you and knock a kid over, and it's too much. So basically, for a half a day, I'm out there holding Ash while the kid play and run around, because I was like, I'm not letting this cat run out there, and he don't know what a kid is. So, man, I said, you know what, dog? It was Saturday afternoon. I said, Pat, this is too much drama. You don't need this. I said, we don't need this. This is a bad idea. Because Pat wanted me to bring him. He wanted to see him. He wanted to hang out. So I drove him back home Saturday afternoon. Drove him here. Our boy, Enoch, you know Enoch.
Yeah.
Enoch came through, because for New Year's, like, I ain't doing shit. I'm like, fuck, I'll give you some cheese. Come through. He's like, I'll chill at the house with watch the dog. I smash back here, meet Enoch at the crib, get into the Beamer, turn around, smash back. I get back to Pat's by about 1 a.m. I go to bed. I got the code, get in his house, go to bed. He's already said, go to bed, get up in the morning. We got Sunday, New Year's Eve. We went to a little party. We cooked, chilled the house all day. Then Monday we did New Year's, and I drove back late Monday night.
Dang, JB, you clowning. I didn't know you did all that. I thought you was over there the whole entire trip.
So I just left all my shit at Pat's house. I was like, dog, I'm going to turn around and take him back. And Callie, man, has hyperventilating the whole way. I had to stop like 4 extra times on the way home because I was making sure she was cool. But yeah, I just thought it was the best thing, man, because I was like, we ain't going to be able to chill. I ain't going to hold Ash the whole time from jumping on the baby, hurting the kid, whatever. And that's the last thing they needed. So, and I was like, I wanted an excuse to drive the Beamer far.
Yeah.
So I drove the truck back. I got in the Beamer, rolled back. Pat was like, I don't know how the fuck you do it.
I don't either. I would have got to the crib like, hey, Pat, it was good seeing you, my guy. We hung out. I'll catch you next time. JB was like, nah. See, that's the real reason. You really went back home just to get the Beamer. You didn't really. The dog was a small part about it. You wanted to get that Beamer. I know what you was doing.
Speaking of Beamer, Benzes, Beamers.
Ooh.
Got T Rich in the building. T Rich, where you going, dog? You going Outcast video?
Okay, play a pimp.
Hey, man.
You got to shoot an Outcast video?
Man, listen, I'm with Andre 3000, man.
You got your NIL deal this past weekend? You know Bama lost to you, Rich. I don't know how the NIL still came through.
It still came through, baby.
Yeah, I'm not live.
I love it, man. T Rich is here. Y'all found the light. Looking like an old school pimp. Got the hat on, the jacket, the light coming through. Man, how you living? How you feeling, man? Happy New Year.
Man, same to you, man. How everybody doing today?
What up, T Rich, man? We good, man. Man, we just chilling, man. We over here on Instagram trying to figure that out. We doing it all, T Rich. What's going on, man? How you feeling? Are you all right today? Are you headed to a funeral because your boys lost, or what's going on?
It's a sad time in Alabama right now, man. I know that. It's sad.
Hey,
man.
so let's break this game down, man. Let's dive into this real quick because we both, had Michigan or Alabama going to be a tough out for Michigan, which it was. They were winning the game. They had the game won, in my opinion, until late. So where are we at with the call? Because I broke the call down, T-Rich. I broke the play down, T-Rich. I showed that we're so quick to call coaches out and say it was a bad call, but when you watch the play, it was QB power. It was a walk-in touchdown if he follows the guard that wrapped, number 77, and that was by design. So what they did was they motioned the back out to get the backers to move like an RPO, which they killed them on motion all game. If you notice the game, they killed Michigan with motion. They did not adjust well to motion. They ran QB power, a play I used to love running with that same motion. And if you watch it, the front was blocked to perfection. I don't want to hear about the right tackle missing and the low snap and the D end up the field. By the way, QB power, we want the D end up the field. If you watch the play, all you do is follow the hip of the guard, number 77, takes you to pay dirt. Milroe walks in. You heard it here. Walks in the end zone. I don't know, Bailey. Can you pull up the clip?
Yeah, please pull it up when you get a chance because he had an opportunity.
The low snap panicked Milroe. He just took the ball and tried to go straight into a wall of crap.
Yeah.
All he had to do was take a pause step with his back foot. Like if you were coached up to do QB power, the QB should have took the ball, got the ball if it was low, seated the ball, relax. You got time, it ain't that bad. Take a jab step with his back foot, and he would have followed the guard right into the end zone. I promise you. But here we go, Big Smitty.
Yeah, let's see.
You know what? It's so easy to say it, man, on the phone.
Thank you.
And, just watch and not being in that game. Like, I've been there before. Like, so what happened, if you look at the play, that linebacker came down. So it scared him out of that. Look at that linebacker.
That backer right there is the rapper. So that's the guard guy right there. If you watch it, he gets sealed down. Look at that. That's where you go. You follow 77's outside hip. He walks into the inside of the H on the Michigan. He walks right to the H of the Michigan. That defensive end will never in a million years be able to tackle Jalen Milroe, T-Rich. And you know it and I know it. The DN was already up the field. He's a wide 9 technique. Look at how wide he is. He's not going to ever come close to making that tackle. That's an arm tackle grab at best. And if he follows the guard, look at that. You're telling me that defensive end is going to scrape down there and make a fucking play on a guy going vertical? No way in the world. Look at that. He's already through there, Big Smitty. He's already through where we need to go. So if you follow 77, here's what I'm telling you, Big Smitty. All he had to do was get the snap and take a hesitation step. and it would have timed it up to follow that guard. Worst case, Big Smitty, he's diving in. He's gonna score. Just tell you right now, this is a touchdown. They blocked the front up to perfection. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I'm not arguing saying he wouldn't have a chance to score. I just don't think it's as like 100% just obvious guaranteed is what you're saying.
There it is, Big Smitty. You tell me Zero's going to tackle that man. You crazy.
See, but
look at the guard. Look at the guard. Look at the guard.
See, listen, and that's why, like, you get in that position, man. Like,
see that? Look at that face.
Don't do that. They should have did that out of Wildcat with a real back, man. Like, you know, we still got to realize too, like, bro, he's a running quarterback, but he's not a running back. So that scared him out that hole. You get what I'm saying? And I see it. I see what the kids seen. Because, like I tell people all the time, bro, unless you're in that position, it's hard to say what you would have done because that linebacker came down, then that DM right there, somebody scared him out that hole. Or he just had in his head to where, I got to get this. I got to get this. You know.
Well, and the snap was bad, which just threw off everything. And the center played bad all night. Bad snaps all night long.
I don't even want. Now he in a damn transfer portal. I don't even want to get into that. Like, come on, bro.
All right, so you got 9 transfer portal kids that entered the portal after the loss. Where are you at with that?
And I think kids are emotional, bro. Like, I think they make emotional decisions. And you got starters up here in the transfer portal at Alabama. Yeah, like, come on, man. Like what's going on, bro? Like, who is in these kids' ears? Like, who? Like, y'all just had a good season, better than what y'all should have had, for real. Mm-hmm. You know, if it wasn't for Jalen in a lot of those games, y'all probably be 5-5 right now. And to do stuff like that, man. And I get it. Some people don't get along with their coach and some, but I think these are emotional decisions, bro. And I think it's not fair to Coach Saban, and I don't think it's fair to those guys that's down a ride. No matter what, that these kids can go in the transfer portal now, then come back for spring practice and go right back into the transfer portal. Yeah, like these kids are making emotional decisions, man. I just don't agree with that transfer portal stuff, man. Like, it's tough, bro. It's tough, man. And I wish these kids had somebody around them like JB, Big Smitty, me, be like, bro, y'all really in a perfect situation, bro. Like, y'all got a chance to come back next year and do some stuff and make sure that your class get a ring. Like, if this class don't win it next year, this gonna be the only class underneath Nick Saban that hasn't got a ring.
Wow, I didn't even think about that. Let me ask you this, T. Rich, because obviously, you know, you a Bama alum, a Bama great. Like you said, Alabama has the greatest coach in college. You know, we could say the greatest of all time in college football history. It's up for debate, but one of the greatest of all time. You having the top tier program. They got money for NIL. Like what do you think is the main, like, are players leaving because they lost? Are they leaving because, like, is it, you think Saban could potentially be pushing some of these guys out because he has other guys he wants to get in? Is that a realistic possibility? Or is it just like, what have you done for me lately? Meaning that, like, we lost, I'm pissed, so I'm gonna just leave.
I think there's a point to where people can't, like, they're making emotional decisions. They can't handle the pressure. Playing at Bama is like playing for the Lakers right now. Like, everybody's talking about, you know, what my guy name is, Westbrook. When he was, Westbrook, when he was there, you know, he did the same exact thing in OKC. It was just on a bigger scale than what he was doing on, so people got to see it every night. You get what I'm saying? Right. You come to a place like LA, it's gonna be big. But I don't think everybody can take that pressure, man. All that's not meant, like, it's not meant for everybody to be about, bro. A lot of people can't handle it. And I get it. But what I think too, man, I think Coach got to get some players in there that played for him to be on that coaching staff. Like, the real coach that's gonna be Bama in, Bama out, that's not gonna leave after 1 or 2 years, that's trying to make a living off his name. You know, that it means something to them. Like them kids are not getting a certain. I'm not talking about the coaches, but I get it. You're trying to get to the next best thing. You're trying to get your rocks off. This is that. I get it. But when you're talking about a program that we built, there's no way in hell he shouldn't have Nico Johnson as a linebacker coach. or he shouldn't have me in there trying to help those kids out, or Drake Patrick coaching the DBs, or Javier Arenas, or Rolando McClain in that build. Like, I'm not saying that these guys are not in the building that we're not coming back, but bro, like you look at a lot of these different programs, they got all their players, former players on the sideline coaching. And they're winning. Like, I was just with Denard Robinson before the game. And we was going back and forth about, the score. Because I told him I thought it was going to be 42-10. Because I believe in my boys, you know what I'm saying? I believe in them. But he was like, man, I'm telling we got something for you. I said, all right, we'll see. Tell them boys, hey, man, go out there and have a good game. But I want to see this thing go to the, to the nitty-gritty. And so, man, they showed up, bro. I tell you what, man, we probably played one of our worst games, bro. And I feel like we got our coached by a lot of different stuff, bro. Like, just down to the penalties, down to busted coverages, down to fumbling the ball, down to getting sacked. This kid running for his life every play. The kid looked like Patrick Mahomes out there on some of the stuff that he had to do to get out the pocket.
Yeah, it was interesting, man. It's a tough way to go out for that Bama team, and that I don't know if people thought they would be this deep anyway. After the loss to Texas start the season, you got a Milroe at quarterback. You swap quarterbacks, game 2 or 3. You're swapping back and forth with QBs. You know the old thing. You got 2 quarterbacks. You ain't got one. And then they said, all right. Saban said, let me show everybody what I do. And then he went and they go 11 in a row. Milroe's the guy. He's already said he's coming back. To that point, T-Rich, is Jalen Milroe the guy to take Alabama back to winning a natty? Because I think you got to have – we're all used to the guy like Bryce Young and all the quarterbacks that have come before that have been a guy. Jalen Hurts, even when he was a pocket guy. Tua.
Mac Jones.
They could throw the ball on time from the pocket. Now, Saban's had to go to a new world because of the transfer portal and the NIL. Now he's going to have to maybe think about, okay, are we going to have to start running a little bit of triple option, double option, RPO like Sark did more of? Are we going to have to do that now because it's going to be harder and harder to get that quarterback now? I don't know. What are you thinking about Milroe? Is he the guy? Are you happy with him going into the next season, or are you looking to see another quarterback, or is he going to hit the portal and try to go grab somebody? All the quarterbacks are taken. So it's a very interesting spot, T-Rich, because I think the 4 teams that go to the playoff, now it'll be 12, are really getting left out in this whole free agency market world we live in. They can't go get a guy no more because those guys are already shopping around and getting back into new teams while these 4 teams are playing. So you can't even get a transfer portal quarterback that's really legit. Like, the K-State guy entered the portal, and you had, old boy left Texas, Malik Murphy left, and that you can't get that guy because you're playing. You're not worried about that. So where do they go at quarterback at Alabama next year?
I'm riding with Jalen, bro, and I tell you why, man. Because like I said, you take Jalen out that team this year, I don't think Alabama go 5-5. I think you give him a whole nother year. You give him a year underneath his belt. I think for what that kid had and think about this. Other than Jermaine, what receivers are we saying that, that's that guy that he got?
Nobody.
Well, what running backs? Like, we ain't see the running game until Saturday, Monday. Was it Monday or Tuesday they played the game?
Monday, yeah.
That's
Monday.
the first time we actually seen them running the ball like that with the backs. Like, they're not using the backs enough. It's just a lot of stuff for me, man. It's like, you got these big old linemen. You got these strong linemen. Like, bro, use them to their advantage. Like, we're not running downhill, man. We're not putting those kids, to me, we're not putting those kids in the best situation, man, to win those games. You got these big linebackers, these big linemen that's in the doggone on 2-point stands every play, that's having to pass like that's they think they fit the pass blocker in a shotgun. A lot of them guys don't even know how to get in 3-point stands anymore. And it hurts them when they get to the next level to the NFL. So I feel like we're giving these kids a disservice, man. Like, and if you look at it how it's set up for the playoff teams, like it's set up just like how it is with the draft. Like, the best teams don't get the best players in the draft. they get the last pick of the litter. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, they still gonna get a good quality of players, but they're not going and getting the Bryce Youngs in the first round. They're not going and getting the, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not getting that in the first round because.
You there?
We can't hear you, T Rich. You might have to jump off and jump back in. T Rich, we can't hear you, my guy.
T Rich, you muted. You probably got to call back in. Call back in. You muted.
Call back in. He's still going. T Rich,
we can't hear you.
Trent,
we can't hear you. You might have to call back in because their phone probably when they called.
There you go. Yeah. That's a weird glitch. That's something with StreamYard that because there's been times where like my cord will come out of my mic and if like on accident, and then now it's like there's nothing I can do to just get the sound back on.
That ain't StreamYard though. That's like a phone thing because it happens on Zoom and everything. I've had it happen.
Got you.
I think it's a computer. I don't think it recognizes when you plug it back in or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, while we're waiting, I want to ask you, JB, man. One thing that I noticed during that Michigan-Bama game that kind of surprised me was Michigan looked like the more physical team, in my opinion. And I'm not saying they like bullied Bama, but just you think about the D linemen, the pressure that they were getting on Milroe, the sacks, just even in the run game. I mean, I feel like they were, playing very well at the line of scrimmage. How surprised were you that Michigan out physical Alabama? Like it sounds crazy even saying that right now because we very rarely have ever said that.
Yeah, and T Rich can answer. T Rich, you back?
Yes, sir, I am.
Smitty asked me how's it, seeing a team get out physical like they did at Michigan in the run game, especially when Michigan ran the football where we usually not used to seeing that Corum touchdown. He jump cut the D lineman in the hole. This is the era we're in, Smitty. T Rich, I think this is the new era. I don't think you can ever have the game be physical like it once was in an era that you have 30 transfers a semester, and an era that you have to reteach tackling every semester to a group of new kids. And you went from a, let's say, Les Miles coach defense to a Nick Saban coach defense. The tackling philosophy is totally different. The way we regiment practice is totally different. We may tackle 4 days a week at Alabama. We only may tackle 2 days a week at Kansas or LSU. So that is where I think the game has changed and how you're going to have to adapt. Ohio State and Ryan Day is taking major heat today. If you haven't seen Zach Smith, a few other people posted it, and they're very pissed off because apparently Ryan Day did not practice 2 of the allotted days. And in the other days leading up to the bowl game, they didn't practice in pads or tackle. So the fan base now is all pissed off. Well, this is what you guys wanted. This is the soft-ass era we're in. Ryan Day is just assimilating and doing what the hell the soft culture has told us to do. Don't hit in practice. Don't have 2-a-days. Don't tackle too hard. Put a helmet condom on your helmet. All this shit is what we're seeing. That's what we are. Why are you mad at Ryan Day now? Like, I'm trying to figure it out. So, I don't know, man. It is what it is. Ohio State, I mean, I didn't think they were going to play a great game. I think their quarterback play has been atrocious all year long, and their backup and third-string quarterback is even worse. It shows the true difference between a Urban Meyer-led team that's recruited by Urban and a Ryan Day-led team that's recruited by Ryan Day. Because Urban was there. You had 3 NFL quarterbacks on a roster all times. You ain't got one right now at Ohio State, especially with a backup going in there after the starter transferred who was already mid. And now you put a backup at Ohio State in there. You wonder why Michigan's controlling the North right now, to be honest.
No, that's real. That's real.
Man, they got to catch up with. Yeah, they're going to have to catch up with the time, man. My bad, Big Smith. They're going to have to catch up with the time. And if they can't do that, man, Ryan, they're going to keep taking heat. And until they get them up out of there, they run them up out of there, they're going to probably for the Auburn job, and they're going to have to pay them if they run them up out of there, no matter what. But, man, his team's going to have to, just catch up to the times, man, and recruiting and stuff, man. And I seen the expression on Ryan Day's face when was a receiver that committed there, and he thought he wasn't gonna come. You see him at the pool, you see him at the pit, just like you see him now, man, with recruiting in the NIL, with the transfer portal and stuff, like they're gonna have to do something about the transfer portal, man, because sooner or later, y'all, it ain't gonna be no high school kids in there, like, and it's gonna run out. Like, you're gonna have to go get some type of high school kids, but like you said, like,
I think we lose it.
The hitters right now. College football is a pre-NFL now, as far as how they get paid and stuff, man.
No, it is. It's free agency. Real quick before you get out of here, T-Rich, before Matt jumps on, I know you're driving. Let me ask you something. Florida State fans, we got them. They're pissed off.
You read my mind, JB.
Huh?
I said you read my mind, JB. That was my next question. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got guys like Christian Manzi in the chat who are defending Florida State. They said Florida State would have dog walked Michigan. But first of all, T-Rich, Florida State, in my opinion, I'm with Kirk Herbstreit. We had Kirk on the show last week. There's no way that Florida State should have got in, number one. Number two, for a team and a fan base to defend what the product was on the football field against Georgia is they got more audacity than anybody I've ever seen in my life. You got beat by 60 to a team that also had 20 guys sit out, and you're still now on IG talking about you would have beat Bama and Michigan. Like, the audacity in these kids nowadays, dog, blows my mind. Like, don't be mad at the fans and the voters. Be mad at the players who set out and got you beat by 60. The worst lopsided major New Year Bowl 6 game in the history of college football just happened. But what do I know? I've been telling you guys for years, this is going to happen. It's going to start being nonsense played out here. And we got a New Year's 6 game that was a 60-point game. It makes no sense to me. And the Florida State fan base are mad that they should have been in it. You should be mad at your players that left you hanging and not mad at everyone else that left you out. I would have looked at it as an opportunity, T-Rich. I would have said, hey, man, let's strap up our work boots and hard hats. Let's go out here and beat that ass. Let's go beat Georgia if we're so damn good and we're so slighted. Let's go beat them like UCF did a couple years ago when they went undefeated and got an AP national championship when they went out and beat an SEC team after they were undefeated and thought they got slided out of the playoff. Remember that? And then they said, okay, we softened up as a committee and we put Cincinnati in the tournament, a group of 5 team under Luke Fickell. We put that team in and they go get shellacked by Bama in the first round. And then the committee now is like, let's pump our brakes. Now we can't put the Liberties of the world in there. We just saw what Liberty got done to them by Oregon. So we're in a bad spot, dog. And Florida State fans, look, dog, you should have played and beat Georgia. And then everybody would shut up and say, all right, now the committee has something to worry about. You didn't do that. You got beat by 60, and now everybody says you absolutely got what you deserve. You should not have even been close to being in the tournament, and now we have proof. So I don't know where all the salty Florida State fans are, but that's the world we live in, T-Rich. We are in the audacity-lived world because social media protects us, and we can say whatever we want. That shit was a joke and a mockery. The NCAA should be ashamed of itself, and who didn't turn that game off in the first quarter?
No, I did.
Man, I didn't watch the game because I already knew how it was going to be. But I was in a game like that before when we had, Michigan State was 11-1, and they're supposed to be whooping us. We didn't make it that year to the championship. That's the year we got beat by Auburn and all this other stuff. We was 10-3. I think that's most the Bama probably ever lost in a season, right? We had a better team than we did my freshman year, and we spent the week down at Disney World. We was doing stuff together as teams, and the Guitar Hero, they beat us and all that. They had the quarterback come out and what's the guy in Minnesota, Kirk Cousins. He was playing the piano and he was doing all this other stuff. We had the luncheon together. And we was just like, all right, cool. Y'all can have the video games. Y'all can have the piano playing. We got it down on that field. I think we whooped them like 60-something to 7 or 9 or something like that. Like, bro, like Eddie touched the ball twice after me and Mark was done and scored 2 times in a row, first plays out. Like, bro, like all that stuff that we saying about these kids opting out. Like, bro, we had a Julio Jones and a Mark Ingle and a Marcel Deers that was first round, a Heisman winner. They still played in those games, man. Like you don't realize, man, like your opportunity and your film gonna prove everything to everybody, especially when you get to the next level. If you don't have any film, when you get in that room, in that meeting room, and they're gonna ask you, and Smitty, you know this, and JB, you know this, they're gonna ask you to pull up your worst game, or they're gonna ask you why you didn't play in that game. What made you opt out? So you think these folks will put millions of dollars behind you because you opt out because you're salty about not getting in the playoffs? Like, what's the big picture here, bro? Like,
let me ask you this, Jared. There's something more interesting to me. Kirby Smart and the Georgia team and the Georgia faithful has really yet to come out and bitch and moan and cry. And I believe they stand on a much higher pedestal and could be easily crying and bitching and moaning much more than Florida State fans. Georgia should argue that they should have been in the thing and they should be in the tournament and they would still be playing possibly right now, because if we don't think that Georgia was still a top 4 team in the country, then we are really tripping. And I truly believe if Oregon would have beat Washington, Georgia would have still jumped Florida State and they would have been in the tournament. It would have had 2 SEC teams in there. And I don't know if that would have been wrong. I don't know if it would have been wrong. And I'm a Pac-12 West Coast guy, and I'm going to go with Georgia's a top 4 team still. Like, why haven't we heard Kirby Smart and that team bitch and moan? You know why? Because he stands on business. He stands on business. His team is built that way, and that is why he's 2-time defending champ. He learned that from Nick. He learned it in a culture at Alabama for years and years and years. And by the way, people don't realize Kirby Smart graduated at Florida State. He put that shit in Florida State's ass on purpose. No one wants to talk about Kirby Smart being a Florida State alum by having a diploma from that institution. He took it personal and said, don't ever talk. By the way, Florida State was ranked higher than Georgia, homie. So Georgia beat a team ranked higher than them by 60. And they haven't claimed one piece of cry over spilled milk yet. They haven't cried yet. They haven't bitched. Kirby hasn't said the world against us. He went out and handled his business. So the Florida State fan base is delusional. Jordan Travis wasn't that damn good anyway. He wasn't going to change 60-point difference. And your fans should be ashamed. And everybody like Chris Russo in the chat defending a bunch of players who opted out of a game on an undefeated team who could have left and put it down in history as the undefeated team that should have won it. Instead, no. You opt out and get your ass shellacked. Chris Russo, you should be a Florida Gator fan next year or a Miami Hurricane fan because you're soft as shit. You should leave that damn thing. But it makes sense that you are a Florida State fan. But
look, I mean, you mentioned and he's mentioning in the chat that's their argument. So to them, they're like, yeah, we lost by 60, but none of our main players played. So
it
doesn't prove anything.
But nobody want to hear that, bro. Like what?
Yeah.
What people got to realize, like, bro, like at Bama, when I was in school, we had second screen and third screen guys that was better than our first screen guys, or that was just as good. You get what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So, like, they're still a college D1 athlete, right? They're still got a scholarship. Like, come on, bro. Like, we got to get out of that. That's even with this little league football stuff. Man, I was telling folks, you know, everybody want to play single digit. You know, you're putting these kids behind. Or just like AAU. AAU, when you was growing up back in the day, shoot, if you was good as a freshman, you played with the older guys.
Right.
That's who you roll with. They knew you was good, even if you didn't play that much. But for you to make that team, they knew you was good. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be trouble. He a freshman on this 18U, or with this AAU travel team, and you're playing on with these guys. Like, come on, man. Like, we got to start giving up these excuses for these kids, bro, and the softness in these programs. Like, come on, man. Like, it was no question. Like, it had a Will Larry that was Will Anderson went third pick or second pick last year?
Third pick. I think, yeah.
Third. Bryce went first, and they still played in the damn bowl game, man. Come on, bro. Like stop that, man. Like, we got to stop.
Hey, you know the whole part is everybody talking about they didn't have their players. That was their fourth string playing against Georgia. Georgia set out 20 players, by the way. A. B. That is a you problem. Don't be mad at me because I'm telling you, you got beat by 60 and you're making excuses as to why you didn't play your players. That's a you problem, homie, not mine. That's not our problem.
You can't have it both ways. You can't complain on one end and say we should have been in the playoff. We're a top 14. We went undefeated, all this and that. And then you play a team that in Georgia who we all think is probably a top 4 team as well, and they smack you, and you just be like, well, we haven't started. Well, hold on, bro.
By the way, Smitty, Bowers didn't play. The number one probably player in America. Didn't even play for Georgia, FYI.
Come on. So it might have been a 75 point. So my thing is, why all their fans is talking trash, JB, after Bama loses. I'm like, hold on, y'all. Y'all acting like Bama got blown out. Like, Bama lost in an overtime, like a play away, literally. A play away from winning that game.
They came out on Instagram talking about they shouldn't have been in. What? Bama dominated the game in a lot of aspects and was up by 7 with 2 minutes left. I would argue if you really watch that game, as bad as Bama played, I'm gonna be honest, as a football coach,
people don't realize that Bama played bad, right? Say it, JB. Go ahead and say it. I already know what you're going to say.
No, as a coach, if you watch that game, Bama played about as bad as I've seen him in the last 11 weeks. And should have been up 14 with 2 minutes left. I'm just telling you right now, Bama should have been up 14 and played as bad as I've seen them play all year against a top-notch number 1 team in America, many say. Alabama should have won the game by 14 points if you watch it as a coach. I watched it with 2 coaches. They clearly should have won that game by 14 or been up 14 and would have won by 7. Let's say Michigan does score late. So that game right there shouldn't even have been close. It really was controlled by Bama without even really controlling the game, if I could even make sense. They played horrible and controlled the game.
But time out, though. Being devil's advocate, do y'all feel like Michigan played their best game? I mean, they start off the game in the first quarter with unforced turnover, like just costly turnovers and stuff. Like it wasn't like Michigan just played their best game in the world, and like both teams didn't play their best. I am being real.
Let me flip the narrative though. If we had to ask one or the other, Michigan was the 1 seed. Michigan is tabbed as the best team in America. Right. So if I had to ask you, you had to ask me, if there was a team to make the other team not play good. Right. You would have been flipping the coin and saying there's a reason Alabama got dominated. Michigan made them look bad. Right. It was the other way around. Bama made Michigan look like they were struggling on every aspect. I think Michigan actually played their best game, maybe not of the year, but one of their best games, because I think Bama was the best team they played all year. But on the flip side, I think Bama made Michigan look bad. And that is why I think there was a complete difference in this. Another reason why Florida State does not belong in the conversation and why Georgia should have possibly been in there. And I'm going to be honest. Let's say Washington did what they did. They're in the finals, so we all think they should be a team in this.
They look dope. They look good. They deserve to be there.
I would argue Georgia should have been in over Texas, like I said on this show. But we keep using the Alabama loss,
which matters. I'm never gonna stay on that hill. And hold on, time out. Let's not act like Texas was right there too. Texas, they lost. That was a play away. So I was just saying, like to me,
I think this could be the best playoff. I think this has been the best playoff game as far as score that they done had since they done did the playoffs.
Thank you.
I think last year was last year got better, but this year I think, like, far as the game being close and making the game, everybody on their toes and stuff like that. I think this might have been the best year.
The committee got it right, in my opinion. The committee got it right.
Let's be honest. I'm already seeing it right now, dog. And I'm telling you right now, I think the NCAA sees it right now. Mark Rideout is out of his fucking mind right now in this chat. The 12-team playoff is going to be an absolute joke next year. It is going to be the worst football you've ever seen. And you mark my words, you're going to have, just so we're clear, this is what you will have. Liberty would have been a 12 seed, and they would have got their ass shellacked by Oregon. And guess what? You were going to have over 20 to 30 great players sit out from teams from seed 6 to 12. Just mark my word, because they're already entering the portal now on a 14 playoff. Big Smitty, you don't think they're going to do it on a 12?
I think the reason a lot of kids are entering the portal is because they feel like the bowl games that they're playing in don't matter. If you pay attention, then you notice the top 4 teams don't have really a lot of players entering the portal. Like their main guys are playing. That's why we saw the best product on Monday night, because the best was playing against the best. So I think the 12 teams that make the playoffs, they all have an opportunity to win a natty. So I think the result from that will be players actually opting into play because they're like, you know what? We got a chance to win a natty. These games actually now matter. So to me, making it a 12 game makes the bowl games matter more, which will help the college football landscape.
All right, I hear what you're saying. Let me be clear what you just said, though.
Break it down.
You said that those teams think they all have a chance to win the natty. Now, I get why you said it. I know you don't mean it figuratively, because those players know Liberty's going to walk in there and know they ain't got a fucking chance in hell to win the natty. But you're saying since they're a 12 seed and they're in the tournament, you think their fan base and their team thinks, okay, we're going to play. I don't believe so, because Malik Murphy left a team in a playoff with 4 teams. You imagine 12 teams? You know the exodus is going to happen, the mass exodus that's going to occur, because you can't have 2 things be true in this instance, Big Smitty, like you love to say. For this simple fact, there is a college enrollment deadline to get in the academic institution. On that side of things, the portal don't mesh up. So either you have to make the so here's the save. Here's the thing that's going around right now.
That and the draft. The draft too.
Yeah, exactly. Make the portal legal after the natty.
Right.
And you can't, because college academic institutions are back in school this week.
Right.
And you have to be in the school and enrolled and get financial aid and get all your academics. So are the institutions going to bump back for football? Hell no. So you have a big problem right now between the NCAA, the academic institution itself, and the player in the portal. Guess what it's done, though? Let me just drop some game on everybody. Now you have JUCO players. Listen to this. JUCO kids who got their AA degree, let's say they graduated in December. That means they could go to a 4-year institution and be there in January, in spring ball, in February and March, learn the system, have a chance to play and start at, let's say, a Liberty. Let's say at a Ball State. Let's say at a mid-level school, mid-major, group of 5. They're not now. Now, JUCO players who graduate are staying at the JUCO and practicing, which is the new rule, practicing in the spring with the JUCO to see if they could get a bigger scholarship. And now they're just sitting there at the JUCO, graduated, Smitty. You got me. This is so fucking dumb. This is the dumbest era I've ever seen. And we've allowed it and created it. We've created this monster. At the NCAA level, the greediness of the NCAA has allowed this. By not paying players for what they have been worth forever, now you're paying them to play, which is not what NIL was designed to do. You're paying them to play now. Let's just be real. And now you've created an absolute monster, because the NCAA still has yet to play one fucking player ever. But they'll suspend a coach. They'll suspend a player from going to a Rose Bowl for paying for a flight for his girl. They'll do all that shit, but they still won't pay you. Guess who's paying the players? Collectives. You've had to go raise the money. The NCAA still ain't paid a player, especially a black one. Let's just keep it real. Non-caring assholes of America has created a system that there is no coming back from, and it is ruining the game. And y'all think 12-team playoffs going to be better. I'm calling it like I said it months ago. I'm saying it again. It's going to be the worst football you've ever seen. Mark it down today right here on this show. Telling y'all.
JB, real quick for T. Rich, I'm saying, a real quick question, T. Rich, for JB. Can't you enter the portal though and still play? Ain't that what Malik Murphy did? Like, can I enter the portal and say, hey, I am going to leave after this end of the season, but I'm gonna finish out the season with my squad and continue to play?
So here's the flip side of that. If I'm the coach, get the fuck out. How you gonna enter the portal and play with me? How you gonna enter the portal and play with me? How you gonna enter the portal, play with me, and then leave, and then don't get scooped up, and then call back and say, I want to come back? Hell no. And the coaches that are accepting that shit is why we have a problem. You're letting your female go shop dick on you.
It's just like
keep it real, T-Rich. Hey, girl, go ahead. Go ahead. You can go fuck around with the homies and let them hit it. And you tell me if the dicks measure up. And
we let coaches do it for years, though.
I was just about to say that. Like that's gonna be.
We let coaches go hop around and go get them some. We know where y'all going at the end of the season.
No, there's a difference. We always have this argument.
Ain't no difference. It ain't no difference.
There is a difference. Come on, man.
That's gonna be the question, though. That's gonna be the rebuttal on that, JB. Like,
hey, T-Rich, it's crazy that I'm a 50-year-old man. But I'm just saying, Smitty, you're comparing 50-year-olds to 17.
I don't care how old you are, motherfucker. And coaches ain't just 50 now.
How can you not be? How can it not be? How old?
Coaches at 28 doing this shit now. Coaches are young now, 33 doing it. Like, so fuck the age.
What I'm saying is, you can't tell me that a 17-year-old experience in life is the same as a 50-year-old who's put kids through college, paid for your mortgage, your car note, etc. How are you comparing a kid at 17 who don't know anything about life in general, a little less paying a mortgage or putting a kid through college? How are you comparing that to a 50-year-old man who's put kids through college, who's paid bills, light bills, etc., and deserve, like we started the show with, deserve to have a life for yourself and your family? How are you putting that with a
don't
kid?
Nobody deserve shit. Don't nobody deserve shit. You eat what you kill. You earn what you get. And I know players who pay bills right now. I know players. When I was in college, don't think I didn't help pay some fucking bills back home. So age don't mean shit. And you pay. You still got responsibility. You still pay bills at 18, 19, 20, using that fucking fast for that check. So we still that don't mean nothing to me.
Hey, you're talking about 1%.
Man, you know how many kids I know and teammates I had that had to help pay bills, pay for their own car, do all types of shit. T-Rich know what I'm talking about. My car I got is I paid for my car. The bills I had, I paid for my bills. So my point is, don't give me a. I don't listen. You eat what you kill. Ain't no deserve. Ain't no you deserve. You earned it. You put in 20 years of work. So what? I put in work to become a star player, and if I want to leave because of a legit reason, now listen, I'm not sitting here trying to preach for all players to just leave, because I'm not saying that, but I'm saying there are situations and reasons behind why players should leave, and it makes sense in those situations. Don't diss them, but then highlight the coaches for doing the exact same shit. Coaches are leaving to try to better themselves. Why can't the player do it in certain circumstances? That's all I'm saying.
This is the guy. Hey, T-Rich, this is the guy who's 30 years old who can't change his brakes, telling me that
I can't change my brakes. I'm gonna be real with you. It is what it is.
But you're telling me that 17-year-old, you're 29. You're telling me a 17-year-old has earned the right? Come on, man.
Let me ask this real quick. First of all, Matt,
how you doing, Matt?
Good to see you, Matt.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
What's up, y'all? How you doing?
What's up, baby?
Dog?
Hey, man.
We're just debating, big Matt. It doesn't change. New Year, same shit, different toilet bowl. I
want to know, can Big Matt and T-Rich change their brakes? Because you always want to use that fucking example. If you can't change your brakes, you ain't worth a piece of shit. You can't change your brakes, T-Rich. You can't transfer out of Alabama.
You unscrew. You take you screw off your wheel. Take it off. and then you fucking pop off the goddamn brake pad, and you pop off the brake, and you kick on the new one, and you fucking roll.
So it's that easy. It's that easy.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Okay, so why is JB using one of the most simplest things that we could do that I probably could learn in 10
Because your
minutes?
dumb ass can't do it.
No, hold on, Matt. Hold on, Matt. It's the difference between can't and haven't. It's the difference between can't and I have not done it.
Well, I don't have to go out and change your brakes live on this show. Go out right now, change your brakes.
I don't understand why is brake changing a parameter for what? How did this? What happened?
All right, so
while you're at it, this one too.
Yes, that's a real thing. And that's easier to do for Smitty. All you got to do is boop, boop. You know what I'm saying? And it's easy. No, Matt, we were talking about it because we simply said that they put the kids on the same playing field as the coach because I said it's like, here's the thing. The kids enter the portal. And Smitty's like, hey, can't they come back to the school? And I said, yes, but that's the problem. If I'm the coach, I'm never bringing you back after you enter the portal on me and then come back and cry over spilled milk and say, can I come back, coach? No, you can't come back. You tried some side dick on me. That's like my girl saying, hey, Matt, go fuck whoever you want and then come back and say, hey, your dick's better at the end of the day. I want to come back. No, homie, it don't work that way. Smitty said, well, the coaches are going to do the same thing, and they're trying to side broad, and then they come back. No, but the difference is the coach don't come back. He goes and takes the side bitch and stays with her. And then he goes and takes another side bitch and then another side bitch because he earned that right as a 50-year-old.
Who defines earn? That's my question for everybody right here. Who determines when a motherfucker has earned something? I'm sorry. I told myself 2024, Matt and T. Rich, that I was going to limit my cussing. But JB, there's something about Jason Brown that brings out the worst in me. And now I'm on this show and I'm fucking cussing in 2024. Who determines who earned something? Who said that? Who made you the judge and the jury?
I said it, motherfucker. I love when you cuss too. That's what I like.
I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
All right, listen, motherfuckers.
Back, Matt. We back, baby.
I put a lot of thought into this shit. First, like with the whole Jordan Seaton thing, and then like him going to CU, which yes. Fuck yes, I'll take it. I don't care how he got there. I'll take it. I've learned not to question Deion Sanders. Coach Prime knows more than everyone, and he plays the media like a fucking fiddle. Bing, 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 bing. And he did it again. So good for him. That's awesome. Thank you. All this said, okay, and especially now with the transfer portal creating as many problems as it is for high school kids. The bowl games, like having to listen to Coach Norvell's speech, and just the game was terrible. But what do you expect when 50 guys sit out? Like the college football is doing this to themselves, and there needs to be heavy restriction on the high school kids leaving. Like if you don't have a degree, you shouldn't be able to transfer freely. You should have to sit out a year, and that they need to get back to this. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have NIL money, but there needs to be some kind of like, I don't know how the hell a coach is supposed to recruit. I don't know how a coach is supposed to build a program. I don't know how a kid is supposed to develop. I don't know how he's supposed to overcome anything these days. It's just, and like personal experience now, I've got a kid that it's in the transfer portal, played last year as a redshirt freshman, did really well on a bad football team. I told him blatantly, this is a big time possibility. You could go in the transfer portal and sit there. Be really careful about this. You're already going to be the guy next year after the great season you just had. Just stay where you're at. Keep building. No, fuck that. I don't like this place. I got to get out of here, blah, blah, blah. Well, the transfer portal doesn't have a football team, and he's still sitting in it. So now it becomes like a blame game. Like, whose fault it is it that the kid's in the transfer portal? Rather than the transfer portal and the process that they're putting all these kids in is the problem. So,
hey, Matt, before we elaborate, hey, T-Rich, I know you're driving across the country. I know you got to get out of here. Any last words for you, T. Rich, on this topic as you get out of here? I don't want you driving across. It seems like you've been driving for 4 hours.
Yeah, man. I'm headed back to the crib. I'm headed back to Picola, man. I gotta make a stop down there, man. I'm gonna stop through the chill spot down there, my decorative spot, man, and sure they do some undercover ball stuff today.
All right, Monopoly, man. Hey, well, you be safe and
T-Rich, it's T-Rich Thursday. Trent Richardson, I appreciate you joining us back in the first of the year. Our first show back since suspension, so we're back. We'll see you next week, T-Rich, after the Natty. We'll break it down and be safe driving, dog. Tell the baby I said what's up and the kids and the fam, and we'll talk to you next week.
And by the way, I think you owe me some money. I can't remember. I think we made a bet on the game. I could be wrong.
You were too scared for that one. We ain't make no bet. You were too scared for that one.
Oh shit.
All right, T-Rich.
Listen, we gotta do the Pro Bowl though, man. TJ got invited to do the Pro Bowl this year, man, for the little league stuff. So we
where's it at?
That way. I think it's in Vegas or Disney. It's one of them.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah, we do a live show then. We're gonna do a live show then. Hopefully, we're at the Super Bowl doing it anyway.
That's what I'm talking about. That's where we at with it.
All right, let's do it.
All right, boss.
All right, boss. Peace. All right, Matt. All right, continue on. So I know you were talking about these guys leaving and comparing. I know that's what we were talking about. The 50 guys sitting out. I got to just take the segue to this. That's a you problem. I have no sympathy for Florida State fans and Florida State who are bitching and moaning about who didn't play. Then don't fucking play the game. Like, I'm just trying to figure out why the Florida State fan base is mad at Alabama when they saying, oh, we would have beat you. You lost by 60, bro. And you did not even have the best player in America, Bowers, play against you at Georgia. And I'm just telling you right now, you were ranked higher than Georgia. And if anybody should be bitching, it should be Georgia for not being in the top 4 teams. So I'm just throwing that out there. But go ahead, Matt. It's good to see you again the new year. I know you're suspended. We've been suspended. I'm also suspended on every other platform. So they don't have real truth tellers. I'll just tell you.
What did I get suspended for?
No, I saw your post yesterday.
Oh, yeah. TikTok Live got mad at me for – and it took like 15 minutes to get suspended from that place. Yeah, I don't really know where I was, honestly.
Everything. Go ahead. What?
I have no idea what I was talking about up to this point. So, look.
No, you're talking about the transfers and how everything's working out with people sitting out, and you should graduate and get a diploma or a degree before you sit out, or you should have to sit a year. So that's what you were saying, and I just got to ask you, the JUCOs, I just told Smitty, JUCO players are getting their AA degree in December. That means they can take the scholarship to Ball State. No offense to Ball State. They could take the scholarship to Toledo. They could take the ball to Marshall. They're not mad. They are going back and playing spring ball at the JUCO where they already graduated from because they think they're going to get the Alabama offer. And now they're sitting out again, and now it's what's happening in high school. It's what's happening in JUCO, and then you got kids leaving a playoff team, entering the portal, and then wanting to come back. And I was saying, no, don't come back here. You already got dick on your breath. I don't want you. So that is where I'm at with it.
Okay, look, the transfer portal is a huge problem. I think it's really affecting college football in a very negative way. If you're a grad transfer, then transfer. I mean, that's awesome. You've earned the right to do whatever you want. If you're just a high school kid or just a guy who's disgruntled, there needs to be some kind of restriction on moving. And I'm done treating kids like coaches. I was wrong on that front, and I'm not afraid to say I was.
Say what? You're wrong on what?
Treating kids like coaches, and I already said it once. I'm not going to say it again. Got
to be a hierarchy.
The inability for the players to have representation and because look, if they were making decisions based on experience and life experience and relationships and all that kind of shit, then I'd be cool with it. But they don't have any life experience. They don't have any relationships in the game. They don't have the ability to pick up the phone and call a coach. Everything's hearsay. And then it's all emotional because children are emotional. They're like women. So emotions drive them. And when you add emotions into this game, and it's already emotional because you're not getting looked at the way you want, or mom and dad are in the corner mad because you're still in the transfer portal, or you made an emotional decision, or rather than a business decision based on, where you're going to go and where you're going to play. Well, in the NFL, leaving college football, you've got representation that can help talk you off that cliff and give you advice and help you make decisions that are conducive towards acting and being a professional athlete. So when you don't have that opportunity and you don't have that guy, and I'm not even that guy. I mean, I'm a football consigliere, trust me, and I'll help guys to a point, but I'm not taking on any more transfer portal players next year. I won't do it. I don't want to help. I don't want to do this anymore. This is terrible. And it's not only bad for the players, it's awful for the high school kids. The high school kids are getting jobbed. But I almost feel for the coaches right now. I feel bad for Mike Norvell, bro. Like that's a shitty situation down there at Florida State. It's just, and you know what? They're not the only ones that had this happen to them. Oklahoma had a max exodus. They got ran. It's just, I wish the product was a little bit more important than just the process to everybody that's involved. So I don't know how they're going to fix this. But I know that if they don't figure it out pretty soon, this is going to get worse before it gets better. That's for damn sure.
And we're
Matt, do you agree with me? Do you think that the next year with the 12-game playoff will help, alleviate this to an extent? Meaning that if I'm an 11 seed team in the playoffs, technically I have a shot at winning the Natty. Do you think that will make players decide to actually play instead of sitting out because of that potential opportunity? Or you think players, even in the playoffs, will still just sit out?
No one's sitting out a playoff game. I mean, I'm not going to use a backup quarterback from Texas as an example. Who's another starter that's sitting out from those 4 teams? No one. Yeah. So everybody's playing. Everyone's going to play in those playoff games. That no one's going to go in and sit out. And if they do, then that sucks for them. You're missing an opportunity to play in the playoffs, so you're dumb. Right. But if we're talking about the Fiesta Bowl and shit, like, of course I'm going to sit that game out. Who cares?
Got you. And that's why I was telling JB before you hopped on. I'm like, I actually think the 12-team playoff is going to help. Is going to benefit this to an extent because at least it will give us more games that actually matter where the starters will play.
But games that matter aren't the problem, guys. It's the transfer portal and the dates. It's when they're allowed. Who starts free agency in the middle of the season?
Right. Well, here's the thing, though. We've allowed it. And we make comments. We throw these comments around there so loosely. Like you just said, Matt, well, who cares? Fiesta Bowl, who cares? Like you said it like without even thinking about it. The Fiesta Bowl, you and I used to care like a motherfucker. The Fiesta Bowl was a huge fucking thing. So was all these games. The New Year's 6 games were the worst football I've ever seen as grown adults. And we're throwing around the term who cares anymore because they don't. Because that is what the NCAA has created. We have zero care for a Liberty to play Oregon and get beat by 70. Like, why was that the game? Liberty should have played Florida State. Oregon should have played Georgia. Like, if we really want to make it interesting, then don't play Oregon versus Liberty. That doesn't even sound right if Liberty's undefeated or not. Like, let's just be honest. Let's put the Blue Bloods with the Blue Bloods in a meaningless game that we're calling now meaningless. At least make it attractive. Huh?
Florida State's a blue blood. I mean, Florida State, Georgia on paper is a blue blood matchup. Look, again, though, it's not the games. I'm not worried about the games. They've made them exhibitions because they put the transfer portal window at the same time as the games. Right. If you make it so when the fucking national title's over, then coaches can get hired and then players can move. All of this is eliminated.
But Matt, I mentioned this earlier. You can't do it. That's why we've created a horrible thing. You cannot do what you're.
You can't change the dates.
You can't change the dates. No,
because of school.
Because school academic enrollment is not changing for the academic institution.
But
the school's not going to change enrollment. Financial aid.
Don't ask school to change. Football change the dates.
No. I hear you. What I'm saying is, if you change the dates for the football aspect, then you are going to have a mass exodus before the bowl game, for the Final Four.
It won't happen until after the season. You can't. That's what they have to set up. And if they can't figure it out, then they're fucking morons. I'm so tired of college football telling us that they can't figure this out when every other facet of football can. Let me
run this by you. The only way to fix it is what I was talking the other day about with Derek Anderson, who's going to come on the show tomorrow. You have to take this month hiatus, because why do we have a month off between the fucking Michigan and Alabama game? By the way, before the season and the Final Four. Take that month out is the only way you can fix it. Take a week off only, or 2 weeks like Super Bowl, at least 2 weeks. Let's just say 2 weeks. You can still get kids in the portal and get enrolled at the academic institution. But if you wait a month to go do this and then another week to play the Natty, you're out 5 weeks from the last time the end of the season or the semester ended for the institution. School started this week at a lot of places in America, especially quarter school. So how are you going to get in the portal, play in a playoff, and then still say, okay, well, I didn't get picked up. Can I come back, Sark? Sark's already said, nope, you've made your bed. Live with it. You can't leave at this time because schools are not jeopardizing financial aid money. It's institutional.
Well, they need to change it, period.
So is the football team change? You're saying football, right?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about the other sports, and I'm sorry, but that's
no. I know. I'm saying you're saying this football, the NCAA needs to change it, not the institutional enrollment date.
No, the institutions aren't going to change their dates. I doubt they would do that because that would take 9,000 fucking schools changing their dates, as opposed to one system. The system needs to change their dates, and when they do shit, period. They've got and if they're not going to, we've talked about this a million fucking times. They love how ambiguous this is. They love how Wild West it is. They love that there's no rules. They love this. It's almost like college football and the country we live in are like a perfect fucking reflection of each other, eating itself from the inside out. The inability to solve stupid problems, the same problem over and over and over again. 1% of the population having all the wealth and power, and the other 99 not. I really think that it could be a glorious melting pot of just perfection, but it's been like turned into this money grubbing, greedy, like just disgusting representation of something that I thought was absolutely beautiful. And now it's been turned into something that I think has the potential to be so detrimental that it destroys the fabric of the base, which is college football.
Disastrous. I agree.
It's really, guys, it's like making me like question what I do for a living, gentlemen.
I'm telling you. It's at the precipice.
Really, really, really bad.
Of the boiling point or the breaking point, whatever you want to call it. It's at that point. Just like society, in my opinion, and life we're living right now. We're at the point of a war, possibly, or we're at the point of a lot of shit right now. And college football is no different. I've argued the NFL is no different. But I want to leave you at this, man. I want you to take your. I know you have agreed with Smitty already on this topic, and we got to get out of here in a minute and take a break before Steve, but I got to ask you, Matt, and I'm sorry, Matt, I couldn't come on your show this week. I've been in Arizona, and we've been suspended, so I was like, fuck it, I'm taking a vacay. Let me ask you, the 12-team playoff is the answer to many. I'm on record today. I've been on record before, but I'm saying it's going to be the worst football we've ever seen come next year. Yeah. You and Smitty both agree. I think you like the 12 teams. And I'm not even worried about the 13th team bitching. We already talked about that. Fuck them. They didn't make it. The 12 teams, though, I just don't see a Liberty playing Oregon in the first round being a good game. And I still think that when you add 12, you're going to even have more players enter the portal. Whether they're a true starter or not doesn't really matter to me. I still believe depth matters, as you saw Florida State this show. I think you're going to have a mass exodus with 12 teams, and I think it's going to be even a bigger slap in the face and a shit show. But I know you and Smitty agree. Go ahead. Give us your take on this and change my mind, please, because I really hope it does change.
I think the 12-team playoff is going to be outstanding. Where you say Liberty and Oregon probably would have been a shitty game. Well, yeah, it was. Oregon hammered Liberty, but last year the 12-5 was Tulane SC, and Tulane beat the shit out of SC. So there's give and take here in every regard. I don't think anybody's leaving on a playoff team. Anyone. I don't think any kid is going to look at themselves and be like, you know what? We just busted our ass all year and we got into a 12-team playoff and we have an opportunity to go fucking right some wrongs because the guys the teams getting into the 12-team are teams that have 2 losses that may have gotten fucked, that like an Ole Miss who says we're pretty good and we think if we get another shot at these people in the playoff, we can go win. So we need to rally around this. It gives Florida State an opportunity to say, okay, they're not going to put us in the top 4. Everybody stay. Don't leave. Let's rally around the third-string quarterback and make sure that all of our defensive talent stays on the field. And let's go prove them wrong on the field. It gives the players and the teams and coaches the opportunity to hash all this shit out on the field, which is all we want. That's my beef with all of this, is it's a committee or a computer or fucking AP voters throughout history determining who plays for what. And this is now the only time in college football history moving forward where it's actually going to be figured out on the field and in the trench and in the gutter. And that's where it's supposed to be figured out. So, I'll tell you this, the playoff games this weekend were fucking outstanding.
And that's why I think 4 is legit as hell. I think that was the best one.
But even if Florida State, Georgia, and Oregon and these other teams would have got in, Ole Miss, Florida State wouldn't have been a Florida State. That wasn't a correct representation of their team. They had 50 guys sit out. So I feel like, Georgia's probably the best team that they got left out. That's true. But in a 12-team playoff, bro, you're going to get 6 games just like that. There were dogfights. And
you're gonna have multiple blowouts in the first round.
You're gonna have fucking dogfights, bro. So the hats off to Michigan, and I will say this, and this is something I definitely want to talk about more at length tomorrow. And I'll get off after this because I gotta go.
Smitty has one question we gotta get from you though. After
this. What?
No.
Make your point.
These motherfuckers cut me off. I just what now?
What were you talking about?
What do you need now? Tell me.
Well, fuck
now, motherfucker. I wanted you to finish so we could ask you.
We wanted you to finish your fire point, and we was gonna end it. You fucked the whole floor up, Matt. You was gonna finish your point, and we are gonna finish it with a question.
Interrupted. You fucking guys. What is this? Hand in the face shit? Couple of females. So you're going to ask your question?
Yeah, I was going to ask you. Well, now we're switching gears, but I had to ask you one NFL question.
You did that.
One NFL question. Your Broncos, your Denver Broncos benched Russell Wilson. That was big news everywhere last week. We wasn't on the show because YouTube suspended us.
That's all we want to ask you, Matt. We wanted you to finish your fucking topic, and then we said, don't leave yet. We got to ask you about Russ.
That's it. One last. That's all we was going to do, Matt.
Russ. I think that it was shady what Denver did. I'll never really side with the franchise, but I would have done the same thing. I mean, I don't want him on the team, and he's got a $40 million injury waiver. So if he won't restructure it, then this is a business decision, and that's what they made. And honestly, I mean, what does he expect? He's not playing at a $40 million level. So Stidham went in and did the same exact thing that Russ did, like almost to a T. So it's just, at some point, the NFL's got to look at how much they're paying these quarterbacks, because they're the gap in between what some of these guys are making and the next guy at position is ridiculous. But to have your quarterback and your receiver being like the top 2 paid guys on your team, I think it's just another, no offense to the skill players, but it's another, problem with the National Football League where they're definitely telling you who's more important. And we know quarterback's the most important position. But I'm saying from a rule perspective, skill guys are catered to. From a payment perspective, skill guys are at the top. And there's, as a big guy, I think that we're the reason that the game goes. So there needs to be some regulation there too, because just because somebody got paid $50 million does not necessarily mean the next guy's worth 51. And that's pretty fun. That's a pretty fucked up way to do things in the NFL. I think each guy should be getting paid, on an individual basis. And unfortunately, it just isn't like that.
Hey, can I know what you were going to say? We want to talk
Yeah,
about.
so tomorrow, and I'll talk to Bailey. I'll reach out to you about this later today and send you some info. But in the national title game on Monday night, Washington has Roger Rosengarten and Zach Henning, both Dungeon family from Valor and Grandview. And Michigan has Drake Nugent, Connor Jones, Reese Atterbury, Andrew Gentry, all from Colorado, Columbine, Eagle Crest, Valor and Highlands Ranch, all Dungeon family, all 6-0. So to say Monday night's a big night is but it's them more than me. But at the same time, I just want to shine a light on how much talent there is here, the talent and what they do. And just it's not a surprise to me that the two teams playing for the national title are being led by guys that are from that room, from this state, that are just bad motherfuckers. So,
Hey,
Bailey, I'll be listening to you to elaborate on that today.
We'll break it down Monday morning on the show. We might have to show a little film or something.
Yeah, I'll send Bailey some info on it. We'll figure something out for the weekend for sure. And then, tomorrow previewing all these NFL games. This is my favorite time of year, man. I love playoff football. There's nothing better. So I'm glad we're back on. And yeah, man, let's have a fucking great 2024, boys.
Let's do it,
What's
man.
up,
Let's
brother?
do
See
it.
you tomorrow.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace out, Big Matt McChesney. Hey, Matt was ready for war, wasn't he? You mother cut me off.
Rico Sell in the house.
Fellas, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear
Loud
you.
and clear. Okay, yeah. 2024, new mic.
I use my old
see.
computer. For some reason, this older computer has better camera and microphone setup and all that. New Year's to everybody.
Happy New Year. So what? You didn't have no issue on Whitlock?
Well, we were off.
Oh, yeah.
We took our winter break. I wasn't on yesterday, so I punched up my old computer. I was told by the computer repairman that the older computers, they have a different hardware, and the actual computers inside, the way they're configured, it works better. Because I said to my guy, I go, my older computer, I've had less issues with my camera and microphone. He goes, yeah. He goes, it's the funniest thing. The older your computer is, if it's in good shape, you're better off using it. So I'll start using this one.
Funny you said that, because I went wireless with the wireless mic now. It's funny you said that, because my old computer is way better. This new one, glitches, right? All kind of shit. I don't
it has to do with the hardware and how now it's all software. So I said, okay, look, I'm Asian. We don't build them, or we don't use them very well. We just build them. It's like cars. So I said, all right, I'll just go with this here. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, man? It's good to have you back. We've been, on timeout. We've been in the corner. We've been in the corner facing the wall, though.
Holding up books.
Yeah. We didn't get to turn around and see the action. All right, give me your thoughts, first of all. Before we even ask you about Pacquiao Mayweather, I got to ask you, what's up with Washington and Alabama? Do you think the two best teams won? And I bet Pat Perez and I, we bet some good money. I took Washington on a money line with some good money behind it to win and beat Michigan. I just think Washington, after watching both games, I think Washington is destined to do it. I think their corners are locked down. I think their receivers are much better than Michigan's corners, and I think Penix is the best quarterback in the game.
On the bandwagon now.
No. I'm talking about in this particular game.
Okay.
Penix is clearly the best quarterback. I think Washington is going to win the national championship and send Pac-12 off into the sunset, Steve, and the last year of the NCAA.
Well, the black boomer Esiason, I kept trying to tell people, I don't understand why he does not get more recognition as a guy that should be in the first round. The question is, will it be top 10 or top 25? But
I talked to a guy yesterday, Steve, to answer that question. It's because they're saying he's 24.
I get it, but you know what? So was the guy from Oklahoma State, Chris Wenke, was about 30. There's been older.
28, yeah.
And Bo Nix is not exactly 18.
But see, the thing about it, the reason they're saying it is, though, Chris Wenke was 28, won the Heisman, went to the NFL, and you never saw him again.
Right, and Matt Whelan or Whedon, remember the guy for Oklahoma State? Yeah. So I'm just saying there's a precedent, though. But look, in my view, the matchup, the outside on the perimeter. Look, Michigan did a great job of hanging in there, not quitting. But as I said, they have no perimeter threats. They have a lot of guys that look like slot guys. Roman Wilson's not bad. They don't have a true number one that could stretch the defense and challenge them downfield. Their offense was stifled for much of the second half. And if Alabama had a better intermediate mid-range passing game that was more free-flowing, they should have won that game, I thought. Okay, but credit to Michigan because they have a great culture. They have a lot of older kids that play for each other and their program, and it showed. They had a lot of character. But the ability for Washington. Now, here's the thing, though, is that what's the status of that running back that got injured late? Because he's a horse. That's a big loss.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We have the official update, but from what I heard, it ain't looking too pretty.
Right. And by the way, guys, I'm going to say this again, and I hope Mario Cristobal is still listening. Take a knee. I didn't understand. Look, Kalen DeBoer is an excellent coach, but in that situation, I'm watching the game and I'm thinking, hey, Kalen, even if you can't run out the clock completely, if you're not really attacking the first down chains, just take 3 knees. Don't get anyone injured, but let that clock run. And you saw what happened. You risk injury and you stop the clock. You know, Kalen had coached an excellent game till about the last 3.5, 4 minutes. There was a one.
They almost gave it away at the end, Steve.
Right. I'm just like, Kalen, you outplayed this team by 2 touchdowns. They really did. Take away that muff punt. The game's never really close. Sometimes you're better off taking a knee and just letting the clock run. It's the most effective play in that situation you can ever run. Hey, JB, I got to ask you something. Are you sick of the pundits? I woke up to this on Tuesday a lot. Harbaugh out-coached Saban. And I wrote a tweet about this. I was saying, you know what, 2.5 minutes to go when it was 20-13 Bama, nobody was saying, man, Harbaugh was really out-coaching Saban here. I don't get that. It's just about the result. It just seems very lazy to me to say that.
Yeah, I thought the other way around. I thought Harbaugh was one of his worst coaching games, and I thought Saban is making, to be honest, I think Saban has made chicken salad out of chicken shit this year more than he's ever done in his career. And for saying that about Alabama, we just had T-Rich on for an hour. Like, saying that about Alabama is just kind of, it seems like an oxymoron, but it's not. Like,
or a vendetta against Saban.
Yeah, this isn't Alabama's
because people didn't. You know, look, I'm actually relieved, guys. We're finally getting a national championship that will ensure that a non-Southern, non-SEC team will win. Because I was looking at the list of every team that made the Final Four. It seems like 5 teams have made it just over and over. It's Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, and a team like Ohio State or Oklahoma. There's not a lot of variance, and at least this year, there's variance. These teams have really not been perennial playoff teams. I know Washington made it with Browning back in 2016. But look, in my view, even though they lost, the job Nick Saban did with a very, very young offensive line with the freshman left tackle, Jalen Milroe, who was still a work in progress, wide receivers who I think outside of one guy, outside of Burton, have not been that reliable. I actually thought in the second half, Bama did a good job of putting together offense, using quick screen concepts to move the ball. They played really good defense. To take that team to a semifinal on the verge of winning that against the number 1 seed. I thought it was a great job of coaching by Saban. But here's the thing, though, and I've said this before, Saban's last 2 or 3 wide receiver classes, you know, they've all transferred out. There's not a single guy remaining. And so now they're having a bunch of offensive linemen, and one of them started at Miami. Now they're transferring out. So it's this. I don't think there's any more roster stability in college football, unfortunately.
It's not. That's why I'm fearing the 12-team playoff. I know Smitty and Big Matt love it. I hate. I couldn't be worse. I think it's the worst thing that we're going to witness.
Smitty, how many bowl games did you watch outside the playoffs? I'm curious.
I turned the Florida State game off right away. We were texting with Weddle. You and I were texting with Weddle the whole time. I shut that off, and then I drove. I was like, that game's horrible. We already knew. That was it. Liberty, Oregon. I started off watching it because I bet it, and then I knew once it was 30-7, I was like, oh, this is what we thought it would be. Liberty scored first, too, and everybody's like, oh, and Pat and I were like, this is going to be 50-7.
What about you?
I started watching the Ohio State at the very beginning, and then once their backup quarterback got hurt, and then I just saw how the game was going, I turned it off. I tried to watch it, though, the first half, and I'm like, this is bad football. There's no offense, and I turned it off. So, yeah, I didn't really – but that's my point, though. See, that's why I think the 12 game will make me want to watch more games, because my assumption is that the 12 teams that make the playoffs, their starters will play. They won't sit out because they'll have the opportunity to win a natty. If players are sitting out and you have the opportunity to win a natty, I don't like that's a
red flag.
That's crazy. Yes.
On my draft board, I put a circle. I wouldn't exit out, but I'd put a circle saying, guys, how much does this guy like football?
Right.
I watched 2 bowl games basically outside the playoffs. I watched obviously Miami Rutgers. Got to see Ja'Carri Brown. It was all right, Then I thought the best non-playoff bowl game, because it was played hard with 2 teams that had opposite type of mission statements. I really enjoyed Arizona, Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
Because for Arizona and Jed Fish, you are swimming upstream. You are a serious football coach. I hope you never go to Florida, because that'll be my nightmare. But anyway, they wanted that game. They wanted that 11th game. All of their good players played, and it meant something to that program, because I think they may have had the best season they've ever had, and that's important. And then Oklahoma, even though they didn't care as much, I saw enough in Jackson Arnold, their young quarterback, where I'm thinking, okay, they got something here. He turned the ball over, but you could see the talent. So this is what bowl games have come down to now, Darnell. And not every game has this. You either have a program that really, really wants to play because it's a showcase to build momentum, or you have a program that just wants to play like a young quarterback and break them in before the spring ball. But the days of actually having 2 teams saying, man, we want that trophy, we want that win, it's not happening. And I actually think, and I don't know if this is going to be any part of the future, when it comes to the playoff games, to make sure, not to make sure, but to add some reward, do it like the playoffs. Every time you advance further, you get a little bit of a playoff share, because that's what they do in NFL football. So for the first round win, every scholarship player gets $25,000. Then you get to the round of 8, you get $50,000. Now, by the time you get to the Final Four, you're getting $100,000, and to the winner, you get $200,000. That's what you're going to have to do, because if you're going to make this pro football, make it pro football.
That's why
I got a huge hot take, Bailey. I hope we clip this, because I want the Kareem Cosell going back and forth on a vertical clip with this. Here's the hot take, and I'm gonna hope it pisses Smitty off. It won't piss Smitty off, but I think Smitty's gonna actually like this take. The most interesting watch, or what is let me ask you, the biggest takeaway from all the bowl games, and what you actually witnessed that is a telltale sign on why the NFL is going to make a grave mistake by drafting a certain person first. Why is that? Anyone catching what I'm throwing down?
Caleb Williams?
Caleb Williams didn't play, and a quarterback came in and hadn't played all year and threw fucking 6 touchdowns. Because you know why? Lincoln Riley's offense has always been legit when the quarterback is a team guy and they do what Lincoln Riley says to do. I'm not a Lincoln Riley guy, but offensively, I think he's top 3. Here's the thing, though. Caleb continues to be a cancer in the locker room, and now players have come out and said this team is ready to take off now without that guy. What do you think that means?
That it's Miller Moss time, when it's time to relax. Anyway, I showed my age. But anyway,
quarterback transfer out. They had one of the best quarterback transfer.
Look, I thought it was interesting that USC seemed to play with a lot of energy. I did watch some of that game. That was the Holiday Bowl.
Telltale sign.
And they seem to play like they kind of cared, which surprised me. And Miller Moss is one of the great stories of this bowl, because here's a guy that committed when other blue chippers were coming on board. He waited his turn, and then he may have just wrapped up the job, and now Will Howard is going to be at Columbus, Ohio, and now L.A. I give him a lot of credit. And looking again, these kids should get what they can. Well, when Caleb Williams was putting up a picture of him in his penthouse, looking all opulent, I'll be honest with you. And again, I'm old. But here's the thing, though, Darnell. What about his teammates that are just living in a dorm that all they get is their Pell Grant and $1,000 a month? Hey, go eat, kid. And I know they get training table, but you don't think in the locker room there's a couple of the grinders that are looking at this going, hold on, we're giving up our bodies for this guy? Really?
Yeah.
You don't think that plays a little bit funny in the locker room, Darnell?
I'm sure it does, but that's life. Even back in the days when money was underneath the table, you had players pulling up in Hummers and jewelry and stuff like that. So there was always a difference between the star running back, star quarterback, and the left guard. That's always been out there. Just now it's a little bit more in your
Darnell,
face.
You know what I would do? Media. If I was a star quarterback who relied on a lot of other people getting a lot of money, I would make sure every teammate got something from my deal just to let you know, hey, guys, even though I'm above you, I'm with you.
I agree to that. Yeah, I agree to that.
I mean, whether it's a bunch of Dre by Beats, headphones, whatever people want, or if I got like a Best Buy, NIL, I'd make sure all of my teammates got a gift card. Just something to let you know, hey, guys,
or something, right?
Yeah,
right.
I appreciate you a little bit. That's what I would do.
I equate the Caleb Williams thing with what's happening in Philly right now with Hurts and Brown. There's clearly a distinction in the locker room. There's clearly an issue. And when you watch your quarterback walk around disinterested and unwilling to do certain drills without being embarrassed and walking around with the monotone attitude and facial expressions that he shows, that is one reason. There's one reason why, and that is because you have some issues either with another prima donna wide receiver, and that seems to be A.J. Brown, or B, a disgruntled locker room coming from the top down. It is clearly what's happening in Philadelphia and the Eagles, clearly what's happened at SC all season long, and I compare those two, and I think those are very two comparable things that are going on. I think that Jalen Hurts is miserable, just watching his and knowing his dad and knowing what he is. That's not Jalen Hurts. He's like miserable in Philly right now. And they just went to a Super Bowl. And then Caleb Williams has made USC's whole team miserable. And that is what I see from the outside looking in. And that is what I see from people I talk to. Just telling you, that SC team totally free and clear the other night when they played with the backup. And that team was running around like they haven't all season long. And I'm just like, it matters. Addition by subtraction is a real thing, Steve.
You know, based on what I've seen of Caleb and what I know, and it's just my opinion and what I have seen, I've done a complete 180 on what the Bears should do. I would give Justin Field of Dreams another year, and I would say, all right, look, work your ass off. We're getting you Marvin Harrison, and we'll see what we do with that other high draft choice. Maybe get another lineman. But I've seen enough out of Justin Fields. And what I think about Caleb Williams, the last thing I do is draft Caleb Williams. I don't think there's any difference in athleticism. And Justin Fields seems to be a guy that has captured the locker room. Caleb Williams, to me, can lose a locker room the minute he steps in. So if I'm the Bears, that flashcard, Marvin Harrison. And I try to build around Fields. That's my view of it.
Fields, man, I know when he's bad, he's really bad. But when he's good, man, he's pretty damn good. And
Smitty, not to cut you off, you also don't see the issues with Fields. You don't, and this is a kid I recruited, tried to get him to Indy when he was leaving Georgia, and then the NCAA allowed him to go to Ohio State. This is something I never got that from him or his grandmother. I never got that from anybody in his family. He doesn't do the things you don't hear about his shitbirdness like you do with Caleb Williams. He doesn't portray it, and he doesn't. You don't hear it coming out of the locker room. So I think you keep a guy like that and not. Why would you start over? E-Dub's back in the building. I know, E-Dub. We posted Steve Kim and Kirk Herbstreit naked. I don't know why we did that. I'm trying to figure out why would you start over with a rookie?
No, because it's the quarterback number one, and people have used that tag, generational, which is an overused term, which is the new version of great. But look, we're not saying Fields does not have things to work on, but I've actually seen things where I'm like, you know what? You've already invested invested or wasted. You can kind of look at it both ways. Right. He is not exactly throwing out to a great receiving crew. DJ Moore is a really good receiver.
He's really good, yeah.
But he's really a 2 or 3. He's not a 1. Now, you give him a big-bodied Marvin Harrison, now everyone fits into place. You know, and so I'm just telling you, Caleb Williams will be one of the more interesting draft stories because there's a high upside. There's also a pretty low floor. I'm not saying he's boom or bust, but I think he's a really, really interesting prospect. And by the way, I think Penix, I know you don't like his release, coach, but man, he was slicing and dicing like a Ginsu knife. Those throws he was making, he attacks the field. I like his game, coach. I'm just telling you.
I do too. I'd love to get Weddle's perspective. We got to have him on next week. But lefties in the league, just so you know, because of the hash mark difference,
right,
where the hashes are, lefties really, really struggle with getting their right lead shoulder down to C to their right in the NFL. Nobody breaks it down and talks about it, but I've done it with Steve Young. I broke it down with other guys. He is Matt Leinart-esque in college. I believe this Washington team reminds me of the SC-led team with Matt Leinart.
Coach,
they caught fire.
You don't think the black boomer Esiason has a better arm? That ball pops.
It's a laser, ain't it? It's man.
He's got a stronger arm than Matt.
Just so you know, Leinart could fucking throw that thing now. And Leinart threw a great spiral. Leinart threw a catchable ball. Leinart threw an accurate ball, similar to what Penix does. Arm strength-wise, I don't know.
Penix has that zip. I'm just telling you, I get the sense that Penix has a little bit more zip.
He may have more zip, but the only comparison I was making was that this SC and that SC team and this Washington team remind me a lot. Great wideouts, great corners. They can run.
No Reggie Bush though. That's kind of a key component.
That's a little.
He's kind of important, Reggie.
Yeah, they don't have Reggie, but they have the weapons on the outside and the quarterback. Which, if you know, we saw people try to shut Reggie down late in seasons in that SC run. And that's what they're doing in Washington. That's what they're going to have to do in Washington. Throw the ball like SC and Leinart had to do.
Well, that's what I would do, Coach. I don't get into going back to next Monday. I don't get into a phone booth battle. I get Adunze, I get Polk, I get McMillan, and I just go 3, 4, 5 wide the whole game. And the thing that I like about what Penix does is he has functional athleticism. I mean, he sits in the pocket, he operates in there. And 3-4 times a game, when you need him to leak out of the pocket and get you 8 yards to extend a drive, he can do it.
Shedeur Sanders, he's not the freak either. He can move around enough in the pocket to manipulate the pocket with his feet and make throws. He's not going to be a guy that runs around in the league and all that. Shedeur won't be that guy. Penix isn't that guy. But he'll move his feet around enough to manipulate coverage because Penix, in my opinion, understands where he's going, because if you watch him, he goes from 1 to 2 to 3, and it's like boom, boom, boom. And that is a big reason behind that is he's 24. He's also been coached up, and he's also matured and been around this thing and watched enough film now to understand. 24 does help, but it also shortens your NFL career. So it's going to be interesting to see him move around. Let me ask you, we got a lot going on. We've missed a lot, but I got to get your take. Smitty just asked Big Matt. Russell Wilson, he got benched. This is a tough one for me because, I'm a Russell fan, actually. I've been a Russell fan for a long time. Obviously, last year, I put a lot of blame on Nathaniel Hackett I think he is just awful, and that's what you've seen in New York this year. It's a common denominator on why Russell's better. But clearly, Sean Payton wants this to be his team. He has full autonomy. This is his baby. He's clearly shown it throughout the year by cutting big-time guys over and over and over. And here's the latest one. And I think he's going to go try to get someone else in this thing and coach, and someone that wants to be there and be coached up. But at the other side, it's like, Sean Payton, you smoke bongs with 15-year-olds. You do all this other crazy shit. I just don't know whose side I'm on this. But at the end
Russell got railroaded. Let's be honest. This was a business decision. This had nothing to do with football. Russell's been solid to serviceable.
Yeah, he's been pretty good this year, actually. All things considered.
I wonder if Sean's actually upset at Russell for making this team too good, because now the Broncos, they weren't horrible. They actually have not quit. I wonder if the solution would be, it's obvious that Russell Wilson does not have a future with Sean Payton. Maybe if you're the Broncos and maybe your team in the top 5, maybe you say, you know what, we need a veteran quarterback. I'd rather get some draft capital and other players. Maybe somehow the Broncos trade into the top 5 to get one of those quarterbacks. Either it's Caleb, Drake May, whoever. And they say, you know what, if you want to draft something other than a quarterback, we have a guy that we hate in Russell Wilson. So give us your top 5 pick. We'll make a package. You get your quarterback of the future for 1 or 2 years, and we get the draft choices. It's just, this is where the players have a point when they hold out, even with contracts, because the contracts are one-sided. And this is something that the union has to continually harp on, is how valid are you going to make our contracts? That outside of the signing bonus, any other time you guys can cut us, and we get nothing more than that. Then even when you let the guy play, now you're trying to finagle things where you're shorting the guy out of his money. And so, like, I am not a Russell Wilson fan anymore, but in this case, I believe that he's been wronged, that there should be an integrity of the game. You cannot tell me that the Broncos, even this version of Russell Wilson, are not a better football team with him under center this season.
And then on the flip side of the coaching side of this thing, remember, this team gave up 70. And
right.
They've had a top 5 defense over the last 7-8 weeks. So it has had they got complete buy-in over there right now under Sean Payton. So I'm just saying they got buy-in for this guy that everyone's calling, we've heard all kind of stuff about Sean Payton. He's got buy-in, because you don't go from getting 70 put on you to having one of the top 5 defenses without buy-in. And you don't go from having, Russell last year to this year's Russell having better numbers in Mahomes and several other quarterbacks right now. So, like, I just think that, he's got through the majority of the team and said this is going to be a new regime going forward. You can be here or not. And I think people either buying in or they're not. And that's what you're seeing. So it's going to be interesting to watch Denver unfold here over the next week or so before the season ends. Are they still in the playoff hunt?
I think they have a really small percentage chance of making it, but like a lot has to happen. I believe so. You know what I'm saying? Because after they lost that Patriots game, you said what?
They beat the Chargers.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the Chargers finally are in the market for a real head coach. Hey, Chargers, get an actual head coach. I don't want one of these skinny, white, analytical guys. I want them to look more and act like Dan Campbell.
I'm telling you right now, from what I've heard from a very reliable source, that Harbaugh is a Charger. It is a wrap.
Okay, well, hold on. So the Spanoses are going to finally pay market rate for an elite head coach.
I know Weddle don't think they'll pay. I know he said some things, but I've heard some other things that they don't want to go out like what the perception of the common media and the fan has to say, that they're a poor, broke, cheap franchise. They want to spend the money. They're going to have to top the 150 mark, in my opinion.
Well, look,
150 million, I mean, by the way, because Michigan's throwing 125 at them.
Coach, I think you almost have to pay it if you want to be taken seriously. No one cares about the Chargers outside of Mario Lopez. No one, honestly. They don't have a home game. They really don't. When you watch their games, that other team makes the first down, you're like, this is at best a neutral site. It's not a home field advantage. No one cares about them. There's no identity. And I know a lot of people like you hate Harbaugh. I get it. I don't hate Harbaugh. I like Harbaugh, but that's only because I've never met him, right? So,
no, I think he's a great coach, though. Don't get right.
But the guy is a personality. He's an oddball. And I've said this. My view is this. Even though he does not have a true championship trophy in his den or his office, the job he did at USD was unbelievable.
And it should have been in the FCS playoff. They screwed him because it's a private school.
Right. To take Stanford to a 1-loss season and number 2 or 3 in the country with real doctors and lawyers and physicists, that's a national championship. I'm giving you a Steve Kim national title. Then taking the Niners, who were terrible, to what they did for about 4 years. That's a great job. And then Michigan. So you want to be in the ball game. You want to be taken seriously. Get Captain Khakis.
The Harbaugh family tree may be one of the best coaching tree families of all time.
Oh, you got to put him up there, man. And side note, he looks just like his father. Like he looks.
The milkman is not the father. The mailman is not the father. It's Harbaugh. I mean, and then another thing. By the way, we didn't talk about this, Smitty. I think Baltimore might be odds on to win the Super Bowl.
Ooh, hold on, say it one more time. Say it again, Steve. Say it again, Steve.
Baltimore with L-Jacks might be on their way to hoisting the Lombardi.
And by the way, that L-Jack guy, because it's 8:00 and JB's been dodging me the entire show, been trying to avoid this topic. Did you see that L-Jack was the favorite to win MVP, his second MVP, after throwing 5 passing touchdowns last week with 158.3 passer rating? Did you see that?
I tweeted it on Sunday. I said, guys, I think it's got to be L-Jacks. L-Jacks 8 right now. It does not mean he's the best player, coach. I'm not putting him up with Montana. But this season, can you honestly say there's a more deserving guy than L-Jacks 8 for the MVP? Come on, Coach. Coach. Bueller?
Here's the thing.
Bueller?
Here's the thing.
Uh-oh.
You sound humble right now. His tone doesn't change.
Let me tell you right now.
Go ahead.
There's an MVP that'll never get it. Let's be real. There's a guy out there that's the MVP of the league this year that will never get it. So here's the thing about it. If I took CMC out of Frisco, I don't know if they're a playoff team.
Okay.
If I took Lamar out of Baltimore, I think Lamar is still a playoff team with that defense. I think Baltimore is a playoff team with that defense in the running game without Lamar. If I took Matthew Stafford out of LA, that team is a 2-win team.
I agree with that.
They are possibly on a run and a collision course to playing in the Super Bowl.
We're reaching on that.
Putting on the record right now that the Rams are a team that no one wants to play. By the way, the Rams beat who? The Browns, who beat the Ravens. The Rams should have beat Baltimore in Baltimore. They got jobbed on a punt block in the back. Or they beat Baltimore, by the way, and have won 7 in a row if they beat that Baltimore team, by the way, that no one's talking about how good this Rams team's playing. Matthew Stafford is the hands-down best quarterback in the NFL. Let's just be honest. It's not even close. Now, if you know quarterback in football, if you say that someone else is out there throwing the football better than Matthew Stafford, then you're just blind.
Josh Allen, I can argue, is all I'm saying.
Josh has had a lot of up and down. He's more up and down than the Dow Jones, as Mike Howell would say.
Most turnovers in football. I love Josh Allen and all that. He has the most turnovers in football, which leads to early exits in playoffs.
But, Coach, look, I'm with you about Stafford. He is conducting surgery, the stuff he's doing at the top of the pocket. But, again, today's game, there's a lot of quarterbacks where it is a +1. The legs and your ability to move the chains with the run game, and you're threatening the run game, threatening the mesh point.
Not on that Ram team, though.
I'm with you, but again, I don't penalize Baltimore and L-Jacks for it.
Bingo.
They're blowing teams out, Coach. They're straight. I'm just telling you, their margin of victory.
Not the best team. I'm not saying they're not the best team.
All right, but I'm just saying, anytime if you're a quarterback and you're leading a franchise to over 12 wins and 13 and maybe 14. I mean, it is, and statistically, you're really good and you're making plays. I just telling you, if I had a vote, which I don't, I would vote L-Jacks 8.
Hey,
I just don't.
There's still football. But Darnell, I will say this: Lamar wins the second MVP. I think the pressure's on him to at least go to the Super Bowl now. You got to put together 2 playoff victories this season, right?
Oh, the pressure's on him right now, in my opinion. I mean, JB alluded to this earlier, and I actually agree with this. Like, if he was to ever win a Super Bowl, which I think he will get one, this looks like this is a year to do it. Just with the league being kind of down, Burrow being hurt, Mahomes and the Chiefs not being exactly who we think they are. I'm looking at the AFC right now. I'm like, what's the team that I'm like, oh, the Ravens got to be scared of them? Like,
for Darnell, this may seem crazy. Joe Flacco and the Browns might be their toughest matchup.
No, I agree. That defense is fire.
Flacco is unflappable. That's the comeback. If I hear DeMar Hamlin for comeback player of the year, because here's the thing.
They're giving it to him.
And I'm glad DeMar's okay, but to be comeback player of the year, you have to actually play a little bit or more than he does.
You better not give that dude the comeback player of the year. I'm telling you right now, this show's going to get shut down again.
But JB, they are JB. So just get it out. Don't get emotional, JB. Don't shut the show down. You know it's happening.
I try to make it a month, but Flacco.
We already discussed it. It's happening.
Turned my guy David Njoku into a game. That's what I've been waiting for. Njoku, David, congratulations, great year, making us proud. But Flacco, I'm just telling you, is driving the ball downfield. He's protecting the ball better. I think Cleveland's really good. But Lamar Jackson, all eyes will be on him because as a player, there are certain years that are very special that you have to cash in on where you look like the team of destiny. Like, look at the Eagles last year, how dominant they were, what a special team that was. But as Keith Sweat, to paraphrase him, you can't make it last forever. Because one-year sport, because everyone gets taken apart. There's free agency. You lose coaches. That is important. And you never have the same team twice. So you have to cash in on this year if you're Lamar Jackson.
I agree. And the one thing that because I do agree with you guys, I think the Browns will be their toughest out if they end up playing each other in the playoffs. But I'm actually happy the Browns won the matchup in the regular season because I just know it's hard to beat a team multiple times in the same season, especially when it's a divisional opponent. So I actually think this works in Ravens' favor in a weird way that they did not win the game when they faced each other. So we'll see, though, man. I just think –
Hey, Steve, before you guys leave, before we talk real quick, we'll get you out of here with this crazy 50-year-old boxing match. Let me ask you this, though. Smitty, I asked him last week before we got banned, who's your top 5 quarterbacks? He had Lamar at number 2.
Yeah.
Behind Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I had him at 5.
Josh, I've been a big Josh Allen fan. There's just too much variance. Even last week, didn't he pass 15 for 30?
Yeah.
It was kind of one of these. For all the great stuff he does, he also just throws, and he puts his body at harm's risk more than Lamar Jackson ever does. That's the truth.
Steve, your mic's breaking up, I think. But let me ask you something, Steve. To that point, though, this man on here who has said over and over that Lamar is the MVP, undoubtedly, doesn't even have him as his best quarterback. How does that even make sense? How is he not your best quarterback when he's the MVP?
That's a different argument.
Hold on. Let me finish.
Thank you, Steve.
Let me finish, Smitty. So you're giving him the MVP for winning games, not for being the best player.
Well, I think
MVP is not best player.
Well, hold on. There's a difference between saying I take Josh Allen to start my franchise for the next 10 years, and you're saying, well, who's the best player this year, the 17-game capsule that made the biggest difference? Well, then you can say it's Lamar Jackson. I'm just telling you. Look, Josh Allen was so shaky, he got my guy Ken Dorsey fired. Quarterback coordinator fired in midseason generally are not going to be given MVPs over guys like Lamar Jackson. That's the reality.
Yeah, and winning is a quarterback stat. I'm going to keep saying it until I'm blue in the face. So, yes, if your team is the number 1 seed, you get a bye, you got 13 wins, and you're the leader of that team, hell yeah, I'm giving you that. That plays a huge role. I'm not going to give it to a guy who is barely going to make the play. Matter of fact, if the Bills lose against the Dolphins, I'm pretty sure they're not even making the playoffs this weekend. So how the hell can I give MVP to a guy in Josh Allen who may not be in the playoffs? But yeah, when I look at Josh Allen's overall numbers, and I think total numbers, he has like over 40 touchdowns. He has like over 4,000 some yards. He has like, and like Steve said, if I'm saying I'm starting my franchise, yeah, I would give the edge to Josh Allen. The top 3 quarterbacks year in and year out that we always argue about the last few years is Mahomes, Burrow, and Josh Allen. That's always been like the big 3. Yeah. So I'm not gonna switch that, this season. But to that same point, when I think of the most valuable player to their team this year, it has to be Lamar Jackson. I can't give it to a guy that might not make the playoffs. How can you add value? How much value are you truly adding if your team won't even make the playoffs with you? And then you talk about a CMC, who I love CMC, best running back in the league this particular season. But CMC balled out against the Ravens a couple weeks ago. He had a hell of a game, and they got blown out. So to me, that shows me that your value as a player, your impact might not be as great as what we're saying. So I don't know. To me, man, when you look at the Niners, there's multiple players who you could argue who would be the most valuable. Hell, going into that week, they had Brock Purdy listed as more valuable than CMC was. So it's like, there's not a clear-cut MVP on the Niners. When I think about the Ravens, it's Lamar Jackson. Like there's not even an argument. And they're the best team. So you're the most valuable player, the best player on the best team in the league. Conversation is closed.
They lose in the first round this year.
They got to bye.
But it's still their first round. When they lose their first playoff game, we set them up again. I'm just going to leave it at that.
But JB, what if they win? Are you going to come here and apologize and say you're wrong?
No. I hope he wins. Contrary to your belief.
No,
I hope Lamar Jackson wins.
Will you admit that you were wrong, though, please?
And
for
I've said this, Steve. I hope Lamar Jackson wins.
Do you? Really? Yeah, I can tell.
I have no ill will versus the kid. I really don't. Like, great kid, all that. I hope they win the Super Bowl. It's not that I don't. It's not that I want him to lose. That's what people don't understand. I'm just telling you, I don't think he can.
Well, this is big. When he faces playoff teams and the throwing windows get a little bit tighter, and you get a real pass rush in your face, because I think the AFC is decidedly worse this season than the NFC. You gotta get to that soup. Mm-hmm. There's two, and you're gonna have home field advantage. That's the other thing, Darnell. You're gonna be in Baltimore both weeks here, so you gotta kind of win this. Hey guys, before I log back off real quickly. Oh, we didn't get to talk about this last week, but the monster, in a way, what a fighter. What a fighter. Him and Crawford, it's those two and everybody else. Everyone else is just pretending to be on pound-for-pound list. They are the pound-for-pound list. It's either Crawford Inoue or Inoue Crawford. That's it. Those two. You don't need a number 3. You don't need a number 3 through 10. It's either number 1A, 1B, Inoue Crawford, Crawford Inoue. That's the pound-for-pound list.
Hey, right. Mayweather's fighting Pacquiao. What's your take?
Okay, you remember? Like, think of like a really bad movie that had great stars, like Geely, had a bunch of famous people, or Ishtar, right? So everyone's excited, like, oh my God, it's got a great cast, and the movie's a hot sack of chip. Well, let me just tell you about Mayweather Pacquiao. That was a bigger pile of chip than anything Lay's could have found. Who's asked? First of all, that fight was a couple of years too late, and that fight took place in 2015. Gentlemen, it's almost a decade. These are old men. Pacquiao should be running the Philippines, and Mayweather should be doing whatever he does. They should not be fighting. Nobody asked for it. I don't want Geely the sequel. I don't want it. This is like making Meatballs or Caddyshack without Bill Murray. What's the point?
But Steve, the main question is, are you going to watch it?
No.
I will bet you money right now. I will bet you any money.
Watching that game,
I guarantee JB he's going to watch the fight.
No.
Yes, the hell you.
I don't watch any of this Jake Paul stuff. I don't watch.
You ain't gonna watch Pacquiao Mayweather. I don't care. There's 70
clips. I just
Smitty, you coming over to the house for it?
Hell yeah, we ordering a fight. We getting onion rings, deep fried.
By the way, Hey, audience! The way Coach botched the onion rings. Oh my God, what a hot!
I just got a deep fryer for Steve. I spent like $100 for Steve just on
onion rings are not your things. Oh my God, Coach!
Look,
You just
I don't fry
those
nothing.
things.
I don't fry a lot. I'm a healthy eater, clean
I can
eater.
tell.
I a lot of food, like Smitty. But
all right. Anyway, guys, I got to get to my workout because all of this doesn't come natural. But anyway, now that we got the camera situation fixed, I'll talk to you guys next week.
You want to do Monday Palooza?
Let me think about that. I think that's a good chance of that happening.
All right. Later.
All right. Peace. New year, new me, new Steve, new six-pack, man. New show. Same old talent, man. Pound that like button, man. Subscribe. I've been seeing a lot of money coming through the chat. If you threw us some money, we appreciate y'all. We $800 in the hole. I barely paid rent. I'm going month to month right now, so we appreciate all the love and support. I've been cooking JB. We 2.5 hours into the show, and he was trying his day. He was praying to God that we would not talk about this Baltimore Ravens team and this Lamar Jackson cat, who I've been telling them all year long was a baller, top 5 quarterback in the NFL. I predicted that the Ravens and Eagles would be in the Super Bowl. I'm looking bad on the Eagles side. I'm looking amazing on the Ravens side. Both JB's teams are not even in the mix. Man, I'm always right. Woo! That's all I got.
Well, let's. We got 30 minutes. Can you push through it? Because we first game back. Blah blah. I got to dive into something real quick. Cat Williams is on the internet on fire, right? He's letting the fire up. He is coming out. I had a rant to start the show off with, Smitty, that we didn't get to. And I want to get to it real quick and get your take on it.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is. Dave Chappelle, in my opinion, is a top 3 comic personality or talent of all time. I think Jamie Foxx is in that top 3. And I also think that possibly Eddie Murphy would be in that top 3 for me. Now, having said that, Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Bernie Mac will always be in my top 5 or 6, along with Cat Williams because of their life perspectives. Dave Chappelle and Cat Williams sit atop to me. They sit at the top to me because of how they aren't afraid of being canceled or etc. Now, here's my take on this. Dave Chappelle does skit. He acts. He does stand-up. He does shows. He rocks a crowd. When he walks in the room, you know who it is. Oh, shit, Dave Chappelle. There's a lot of comedians out there you may not be like, Cat Williams, I think, walks in the room. You also say that. So do you with Jamie Foxx. He has a new special out, Smitty. I didn't even know it came out. I watched it with Pat. Pat knows Dave really good, well, and he's even said this guy's like salt of the earth, great husband, great father, fucking stands on what he stands on, helps out people that are broke. He does a lot of shit no one talks about. But he goes heavy after the made-up humans, right?
Yeah.
And I love him for it. I love him more than anything for it. And he came out couple years ago and said that would be my last. I think he made the Sticks and Stones or whatever one that last one was, where he had everybody come out and their mama afterwards on stage and all that. He came out with another one because of the backlash he took from that particular, LGBT, whatever they're called, the Alphabet Warriors. Here's my take on this, man. And everyone's kind of talking shit about him, Smitty, as far as this last stand-up not being very good. Now, here's the thing.
It was hilarious, first of all. But
thank you. I'm glad you saw through it because I think you have to be somewhat educated.
Yeah, he's a genius.
Smart to understand Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle straight up came out with this show because of the naysayers and the cancellation possibilities that Netflix, they tried to tell Netflix to drop him. Not only did they not drop him, they paid him more money because he's uncancelable because of who he is and what he draws. Here's the thing I got to say. His latest stand-up, which was said not to be, his last one again, he goes after the made-up humans and all this. He did it in such a way that you truly had to listen, Big Smitty, watch and appreciate the true talent that we are witnessing. This talent, by the way, is dying out as people get older, and the culture in which we live has made it impossible, Smitty, to have fun, enjoy comedy, enjoy people's opinions, and not judge someone so harshly because of a few words or terms that we use. Shout out to the last of the dying breed. Hey, Smitty, on this show, we do the same. Cancel us if you like. Report us if you like. But you cannot cancel something that cannot be canceled. Just remember that.
Nah, this was to me was better than Sticks and Stone. Me and my wife was over here cracking up. Like the way he sets up his joke is something I've never seen before. You know what I'm saying? The build up to it.
You got guys that are just they're like, oh, this shit's garbage because they don't listen to the setup.
Yeah, all they want is like quick little like boom, boom, boom. Like
you're so fat. Like,
right. They takes like 5 minutes to get to the actual joke, and then it hits you like, oh shit, how the hell did he go from here to here to here? And what I really liked about this, and I don't want to give it away if you haven't seen it yet, make sure y'all go check it out. But to me, he was proving a point that we all think stuff is funny, you know what I'm saying, when it's not like directed at us, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you take it as like personal, directed to you, you kind of get in your feelings. And I think that he was kind of, alluding to that, about the whole, made up humans, and kind of use that segue. So, you know what? I ain't gonna talk about y'all tonight. I'm gonna talk about the other community, the handicap community, whatever. But the way he set it up to me was in a way to just kind of showcase that, like, listen, like we all, it's just comedy. We all can get these jokes. We all like, you know what I'm saying? And I just think that to me, he's actually bringing us together. You know what I'm saying? If you really like listen to how he's doing it, you know what I'm saying? So I thought it was excellent.
By the way, Tyler, I think Tyler Riddell in here in the shout out to Tyler. He said Ron White's his favorite. Ron White is out in our corner, in our side. He's no longer on our side. Ron White's out. I got to hang out with Ron White. Pat and Perez knows him really well. We got to hang out. Pat and I both have put him outside the circle. Just let me throw that out there. Ron White is horrific, number one, in person. Number two, she does the same skit over and over from fucking 20 years ago. And number two, he is not a live golf supporter. He is out on our end. Just so you throw that out there. All right. So, Big Smitty, having said all that, Cat Williams has lit up the internet on Shannon Sharp's podcast. And it's kind of simultaneous with the fact that the Epstein list just came out.
Hold on, time out. I thought they were delaying it till like January 20 something. It's out, like it's out right now.
Yeah, it's all over the internet last night. Like crazy.
I went to sleep.
So
okay. I didn't know that.
Now there's certain people that aren't blacked out. I don't think you're ever going to know the truth, but the list is out. Take a listen to this last little Cat Williams skit over the weekend that he made.
I had to put me in my first dress.
I want to know is this real talk or jaw jacking?
When he had to go on his hiatus, he tell me, Cat, when I come back, I need you. You my young partner. You my brother in comedy. When I come back, just promise me that my next movie, it'll be me and you. We gonna do it together. We gonna do some buddy cop shit. I said, Martin, you got my motherfucking word, my nigga. Go do what you got to do. When you come back, I'm in your movie. Don't trip. I don't need to see the script or nothing. We get in that office and this fool pull out Big Mama's House 2. I almost died. And I got to read this script from all these good white people. Where this nigga want me to get in a dress with him. And I'm literally saying to everybody, why is he in a dress again? You already played the old lady as an FBI agent. We can play anything now. We can be playing a dog catcher this time. Why do we need to be in a dress? And I get so mad, I say, you don't want me. You want Brandon T. Jackson. And that's who they went and got. Twice I said it, they went and got him. Just like I'm telling you, I had that other dude's work. I had all of it. All I did was say, I want to punch it up so it's not offensive to real niggas. And that's how I got in this position.
I sure hope I have Club Shay Shay after this air.
It's gonna be in a dimension it's never been.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
The greatest thing floating in
I might be out of
2024. Mark
business.
the words. No way. In a whole different realm of business. Oprah coming next. Once I establish this as a place of truth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Watch.
Shout out to Cat Williams, man. Real quick, man. Shout to my brother CJ Christian Deere. He's the lead producer on Club Shay. You hear his voice in the background laughing. I watched the whole interview last night again with the wife, and you hear his voice in the background a couple times. So I got to shout my brother CJ.
So what do you take away from that whole interview? I haven't watched the whole interview. I've seen the clips.
It's long, yeah.
So he's talking about he brought up a lot of things.
He's taking shots as soon as it starts, JB. Bow, 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 off the bat.
It's interesting that you see certain guys that come out over the past. Like if you really break down the Hollywood industry lately.
Yeah.
Have you heard of or have you seen Vince Vaughn in any movie in the last 10 years?
I ain't seen him in a minute.
He's also a guy that's been an advocate for child trafficking and pedophilia and all these things. He's called out people. They ain't put him in a movie in 5, 6, 7, 10 years. I ain't seen Vince Vaughn in anything.
Yeah, anything.
Kevin Spacey, who they say is one of the worst cats who came out on, now he's back getting big. He was on an interview the other day with Tucker Carlson, I think. Cat is calling everybody out, and that's crazy to me. Even he's called out Cedric.
Yeah, Cedric responded too last night. You know, that the line against Cedric was a little bit more so like saying that Cedric stole his joke, and people have been posting like the Cat Williams version of the joke, and then the Cedric version of the joke. Cedric posted a video saying like, "Listen, man, I respect Cat. He's one of the funniest guys in the game." He said, "I've been doing this joke since the early 90s, and whatever." He said if he feels like I took his joke, that he said, "Listen, I've been doing comedy for a long time. I got comics who have stolen my joke, so I understand if you feel like I took it, that's how you feel." But Sad put a caption. He's like, all the tough talk though. We got to chill with all that. But like he's like, I respect you in comedy, and that's what it is. And so I don't know. For me, I respect Cat Williams because I think he speaks the truth. And what I mean by that is either A, he knows for a fact that this is true and he's going to just say it, or B, maybe it's not a like literal fact, but he's speaking his truth, meaning he's speaking to what he honestly believes. He's never going to sugarcoat his thoughts, his opinions. He's going to speak what he truly believes. And you might love it, you might hate it, but at least Cat Williams is going to be real. And as a man, I can respect that, that part of it. Now, obviously, he's going into specific things, and he said it's times. Can't remember the guy's name, real popular like movie film director. But he said I walked into so and so office, and he asked, could he give me head like to be in the film, and I said no. And I look around, I see a couple other black folks working for him. So I'm like, I said no, y'all working for him. What did y'all say? So you got to watch it, JB, because there's a lot of just stuff he throw out there. He's talking about Hollywood, and we've heard crazy stories in Hollywood and what goes down, and he's just throwing out a lot of stuff. Obviously, he brings up the dress, comedians wearing dresses, and that's been a long thing where it's like, are you really doing that because that's what you want to do, or you're allowing the Hollywood system, force you to do it, let them control you as like a puppet. And it's a lot. He went at Steve Harvey, he went at Cedric, he went at Kevin Hart, Chris Tucker, like it was a lot. He was throwing shots at everybody. So
hey, I ain't mad at him. I think it's the time. We're in 2024 now. It is what it is. Epstein coming out, Cat Williams, certain cats coming out with the truth. Hopefully the narratives get back to being the truth. Just think about it. Like, I watch a Chappelle show all the time, and I'm like, can you imagine this show dropping now?
Yeah, it would.
If you go back and watch Chappelle show and just the N-word that he uses, like just normal
all the time.
But as the white guy, you know how he does.
Yeah. It's the family.
You got the old white dudes doing it with, that he paid to do it. His boys that are doing it.
Yeah.
They would be called. They might get blackballed now for saying the word. Like Jamie Foxx there's a clip out there, you know, and I know one of the producers on the show. We were talking about Leonardo DiCaprio refused to say the word for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen that clip go viral. And finally he had to, you know, he's such a great actor. He did it. Jamie was like, "Hey man, what's up?" He said
when he did, he said it almost too good. Like he was like,
and like it's got to be hard, right? For a cat to say that word and spitting. But then like Jamie told him, like, "Hey dog, we say it every day. You gotta say it now too. You're part of this thing right now." And shit, did he get blackballed? I don't, you know, that's the thing. People still ask to this day. Did Leonardo get did he get lesser gigs after that? I mean, there's a thing out there though. I'm saying for the white person that's doing those things, that dude on the Chappelle show couldn't do that shit right now. That old white man.
Right. Yeah. It'd be bad.
The game's changed. But man, we got 20 minutes, Big Smitty. There's a lot to break down. Tyreek Hill house caught fire.
Yeah, I saw that.
We don't know what happened, so we'll dive into that more tomorrow.
Nobody was there though. Nobody got hurt. You know what I'm saying? You said Tyreek left practice, or so I think left the facility to try to check it out.
Yeah, he was in a walking boot too.
We don't really know too much. Well, you know Tyreek's ankle. You know he messed his ankle up a couple weeks ago. So yeah.
We had the Cowboys-Lions game that just again shows me that both teams are who they are. That's just what it is. Like I think they're good football teams in a mediocre era or a year at least. I think they're good football teams in a year that's down. But I wouldn't put any stock in either one of those football teams when it matters.
But did the Lions get cheated though? Did the Lions get cheated with that with the call? We saw the offensive lineman run up to the referee to his face. I'm not on the field. I don't know what he said, but I don't know no other reason why offensive lineman would walk to the referee. That's not a normal thing you do. So I'm assuming that he said, "Hey, I'm eligible." And I mean, it sounds like the referee just got confused because of all the linemen that ran up to him.
I broke the play down. I would like to do it with Matt or something. I broke the play down and this is what they did. They deceived the call. Mm-hmm. And I've done this before. They deceived the formation with the reporter.
Yeah.
So the reporter and the formation confused the ref. And the refs do not like that shit because now you're trying to make us look dumb. They're going to call that shit. And the way they did it, the reporter was actually an ineligible formation. The guy that wasn't reported was over here as eligible. And it was a very, very confusing formation for a referee. And that is what happened. And that is why they were pissed off, in my opinion. And that's why they said, you better report to us properly. Don't report and be dead on the end-man line scrimmage. Report as a reporter. The Lions were like, "Nah, we're not going to report the guy so that the Cowboys know who's
right."
They're trying to use that as a thing, which I think the reporting thing is the dumbest thing ever.
Well, no, because I was thinking about this though. You got to do that though, because like as a defensive perspective, JB, linemen don't catch passes. So like I would, when we set up our defense, we're not setting up a defense to say, "Hey, make sure you guard number 68." Like no, they're there to block.
You don't got to do it in high school. You don't got to do it in college. Why would you have to do it at the ultimate level? No, you got to report in high school and college. Why would you have to do it in the ultimate level? Like,
I hear you.
Learn who's eligible. We teach that. That is what it is. Learn who's eligible. Who's on the line of scrimmage. Who's eligible. Who's the last man on the line of scrimmage. By the way, there's rules in place for these things. It's not like it's a trick. Whoever is eligible is eligible. It doesn't matter the number. You can have 9 guys on the ball. You can have 10. There's a bunch of different rules that people don't realize. The reporting thing to me is, then why even do the play? Why even work on the trick play? Why have a trick play? If I have to report who it is and you still don't get it, that is bad coaching. Guess what? Understand who's eligible, and you would have found out. I've been beat on guys not knowing who's eligible. We watched the play and like, God damn it, that's your guy. The receiver's off the ball. You know he's eligible regardless of the number. So it is what it is, man. I just think that the reporting thing gives it away. I think it's kind of takes the moxie away from the fun part of the game. Coaches devise plays, and we create plays, Smitty, and we get hard on for that shit. Man, let's come up with Daffy Duck. I used to put 4 wideouts over there, 2 wideouts over there, 2 over there on the ball. Fucking 2 guys behind them, center and 2 guards. Run speed option, figure out the count, motion a guy. We do that shit. We take time to do it and make it fun for the players and do some shit. And then I got to report now. Hey, the right tackle. Like, to me, if you don't do it in high school and college and you learn how to defend it, then why the fuck can't a millionaire do it? Like,
that's a good point. You know what's crazy? I played the game my whole life. There's still certain calls and stuff that I don't fully understand, and certain calls that I don't even know about really because it wasn't my focus. You know what I'm saying? So like, I didn't even know that it wasn't something that they did in college. But to your point, that's the case. Then yeah, I mean, if it works in college and you don't have to do it, then you shouldn't have to do it at the NFL level. You know, I do agree with that. So, but that's the rule. That's what it is. And if I'm Dan Campbell, I'm pissed because I went to you before the game and told you what I was going to do. If I'm in a situation, be aware this is going to happen. And then I do it, and then you still give me a flag. And my thing is, a referee, you shouldn't give a flag unless you're just for sure. Like if there was any question and you're uncertain, you got to just go with whatever happened. Touchdown, cool. You can't go out there and be like, I don't know if he reported. He walked up to me, but did he report? Nah, I think it was just 70. I'm gonna throw the flag. Like, no, you can't do that with the game on the line. That was a huge situation because the Lions was in a situation where they win that game. I think they become the 2 seed, if I'm not mistaken, in the NFC. And then they will go into this week with the opportunity to potentially, depending on how things play out with the Niners and everything, potential to be the number 1 seed. So, like, that was actually a huge loss, when you think about the grand scheme of things and things in the games having to go through Detroit. So, I don't know. I think they got cheated, confused or not. If you confused, then don't call nothing. Just let whatever happens. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. Here's the thing, too. I don't know. Is Sunshine playing? I think he has to, but is he cleared? Yeah, I think. Okay, I'm looking at the injury report.
Is he playing? I'm about to say, I don't know. I hope they lose though. Hey, Titans, I know y'all got one good. I know Derrick Henry got a 200-yard performance in him. I hope they lose. Because if they lose and my coach win, we number 1 seed,
right?
You said what?
Jags gotta win.
Yeah, so if the Jags win, then they win the South. They're in. The Colts Texans, we play Saturday. The winner of that game is in. So
but I think the Texans already in, no?
Nah, we're in right now. The Colts is the 7th seed right now. So Saturday is basically a playoff game, JB. Like the loser is out. Now, but the thing that has me confused, if the Jags lose, hypothetically, I don't know. Like, if the Jags lose, but the Colts win, I don't know. Like, I can't remember who won between the Texans and Jags. So I don't know if there's like a tiebreaker situation. I don't know. Like, they can get hairy if the Jags lose. But just straight up, Colts, Texans, the winner is in. I know that for a fact.
It's going to be interesting, to say the least. It's going to be.
D. Jones said, yeah, we have to win.
Yeah, they have to. I figure they have to win.
He said, I don't know if we play or not. But, yeah, this is it's an interesting season, man. I mean, we all thought the Jags was going to win the AFC South pretty convincingly. Me and you both, I think, agreed to that before the season. D. Jones been talking crazy all year long about how great they are, and Trevor Lawrence is this and that. And these motherfuckers barely about to win the AFC South. They might have made the playoffs. Wouldn't that be something if the Jags actually missed the playoffs? Who are we gonna blame now? Are we gonna still blame Trevor Lawrence? Are we still giving Doug Peterson all these flowers of earlier in the season? We were saying, "Oh, Doug Peterson's an amazing coach, he's an amazing job." They missed the playoffs. You let the Colts or the Texans get in, who are both kind of in a rebuild type of phase, especially the Texans. That's kind of embarrassing right there. So. I'm excited though as a Colts fan. I did not think we'll be in this position. I had us missing the playoffs. So the fact that we're even in the mix, I love it.
Yeah, that's the point too, though. Like, is it a rebuild or is this just the new norm for the league?
Nah, I'm saying for the Texans are in a rebuild phase. They got a rookie quarterback. They got a rookie middle linebacker as their captain. They got all these young guys. They're rebuilt. Colts is like not full rebuild. We have a lot of like veterans on that team as well. We just had the new quarterback, so that's really.
But I'm saying though, like there may not be no rebuilds no more. You might just be a shitty organization and a shitty team, or a fucking team that can just win instantly because of either a quarterback that's decent and suffice, like Stroud has done. Unbeknownst to a lot of us, he had a hell of a year. Nobody thought he was going to have the year he's had, but I did say he's going to be the best rookie. I don't know. I don't know where. Remember, I was the one high on the Texans to start this season off. If anyone remembers, I was the one. I said, just watch, because I'm trending with the trend. Like, my mind is thinking like the trends are. The trends are you can win any moment now with mediocre QB play. And if you get a good quarterback to actually exceed expectation, just be careful. Like the Texans, you may be. Flip side, Smitty. Sunshine's actually had an underperforming year. He's had some injuries and all that shit, but he's actually underperformed.
Even before that, though, he wasn't balling, yeah.
Like what we saw last year. And then Geno Smith, who I thought Seattle, when they made a few trades, they were like, all right, this team's for real now. And then they went on a roll, and Seattle was rolling, and then they lose 4 or 5 in a row. And I'm just like, Geno gets hurt. Geno's mediocre this year. He's hit and miss. He's inconsistent. It's just quarterback play. Kirk Cousins was balling, I thought, for Minnesota. They went on a hot streak. They make a trade. They win 2 in a row with Dobbs. Then that thing crumbles. Detroit, in my opinion, is Detroit. I just don't know if you can ever win a big-time game with Jared Goff. I love Jared Goff. I think he's a talented ball spinner. Don't know if you can win it. And then you look at the Rams and Matthew Stafford. He has the blood taste in his mouth. He's had the fucking blood in the ocean and tasted it. He knows what it takes. And he's that dude. So you put that with this is how we do it. If everyone buys in here, defense playing better. The corners scare me, obviously. They're bad. They got a couple dudes. Like Witherspoon kid is legit. I like, or not Witherspoon. Is it Witherspoon for the Rams? One of the young corners is good.
Yeah. I can't remember who his name is. Yeah.
But they're, Aaron Donald's balling. They're starting to look good again. But at the same time, can they stop the run consistently? And then Nakua and Cooper Kupp, they're healthy with Higbee and that running game with Williams. They're as explosive of an offense left out there. And I don't know if you can't trust Stafford in a big-time game. I do. I'm trusting Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay, who's been to 2 of them, to figure this thing out and be a tough out for anybody. And I don't know if this 49er game is going to really display the importance, because the Rams locked up a seed, and they're not going to be able to manipulate that seed by winning this weekend.
Yeah, Carson Wentz is starting.
So that's
that
right there, which it is what it is. That's the new thing. That's why it used to be that way, and it would trend down to college. Now it's college doing it, and it's trending upwards, in my opinion. But that's a whole nother debate.
They've been doing that, though. They've been doing that.
No, that's why I said NFL has always done. They've done this.
Yeah.
So I thought that would, college would look at the NFL player for sitting out a playoff, a last game to be healthy for the playoffs, and you would see college players do it.
Right.
Now you're getting college guys to do it at an all-time high, which is trending upwards for, like, in my opinion, a regular season guy to sit out. And that's from NBA load management. That's NFL. In my opinion, are we really hurt or are we really injured? There's a huge difference. I think a lot of hurt guys sit out now compared to injured guys.
Right.
That's just a whole nother debate. But
real quick before you move on, I do want to make this point. I know we keep bragging about Matthew Stafford's MVP balling, the Rams balling.
I'm not going to give him MVP over Lamar because
I know, but I'm just saying, I know we've been.
By the way, he missed 2 games or 3 games too.
Right. That plays a role. And also, I just want to say, like, let's not forget, what have you done for me lately? They did struggle against the New York Giants in their last game. They won by 1 point, 26. They won, so that's all that matters. But I'm saying, as much as you said multiple times during the show, the Rams should have beat the Ravens. The Rams, they beat the Browns. The Rams should have did it. The Giants should have beat the Rams last week. Matthew Stafford threw 1 touchdown and 2 picks against Tyrod Taylor. So,
by the way,
I'm just saying we gotta
Giants, the last 4 weeks, the Giants defense has been a top 5 defense in football. And by the way, they should have beat the Cowboys and the Eagles. Also, if you look at that game, are we gonna bring that up too?
The Eagles are not hot. The Eagles, I mean,
hold on though. Are we gonna
Eagles
bring up?
ain't good right now, brother.
Giants should have beat the Cowboys the last time they played, and they should have beat the Eagles the other day. And they should have beat the Giants. Should have beat.
That's why I don't like. That's why I don't like the shoulda, woulda, coulda. But
you
started it, so I have to keep the shit going. You said it earlier. You said the Rams shoulda beat the Ravens. So if we're gonna play the shoulda, woulda, coulda game, the fucking Giants shoulda beat the.
But I did not say all I said was if they would have beat them, they would be on a 7-game heater. And I said no one wants to play this team. That doesn't mean that they should have beat or lost to the Giants.
All right, that's fair. Regardless, they didn't look that great. I'll say that it's a really bad.
All I'm saying, they could be on the longest win streak in football right now if they would have beat that Ravens game 5 weeks ago or whatever weeks ago in overtime. By the way, it's been the Ravens' best, hardest game they played in the last 7 weeks.
And all I'm gonna say is this: the Rams didn't look that great against the Giants. So my point being is that as great as they've looked during this winning streak, they've also had some lows too. So like I can't trust the Rams because I just don't know which Rams are going to show up in the playoffs. So
hey, it is what it is. I mean, we didn't even think the Rams would be in the conversation.
Facts.
So
that's a fact.
I mean, it is what it is.
Of course.
But we're gonna see if the Colts can do what they do. We'll see.
Hey, don't hop on the bandwagon Saturday, y'all. It's a wrap. It's too late to hop on the bandwagon. We've locked it up. We put the hatch on there. I don't want none of y'all on the show Monday. Yes, Smitty, you can coach it. Nah, if you wasn't rocking with us all season long, don't rock with us now, baby. For the shoe.
Tomorrow we'll do my top 5. We'll do a top 5 NFL teams where they sit right now. We'll do that tomorrow. We got Derek Anderson tomorrow. He has a lot of Cam Newton stories. We're gonna get Derek Anderson on tomorrow. We got Michelle right out the gate. We're gonna talk about Michigan and all those.
Michelle been turning up on Twitter last couple weeks.
But let's do some hell yeah, hell nah to end the show. We got 3 minutes. Let's do some hell yeah, hell nah, and let's get into it, Big Smitty. Pound the like. We almost had 1,000 people in here on the first day back on a Thursday, which is I appreciate you guys for coming back and supporting, even though we got put on timeout. We'll try not to be put on timeout. Can't promise you, but we'll try. I don't want to do that to Smitty. We did literally. This is the first time I'll admit that I was really innocent on this one.
First time.
You gotta agree on this one. I didn't do nothing. We didn't even cuss during the Kirk Herbstreit interview.
But even the whole episode, we didn't talk about nothing like inappropriate though. That episode, just naturally, we just didn't. It was nothing. Like nothing.
We'll see you next. We'll see you tomorrow.
Peace out, talk
to because hell yeah, hell no. I get to cuss now. All right, let's go. Yeah. What are we doing? Hell yeah, hell no. Here we go. Nick Smitty. We got 10 of them. We got to run through them. Washington will shock Michigan on Monday night. Hell yeah, hell no.
Hell no. I'm sticking with Michigan. I'm sticking with Harbaugh. This is his year. The team is fighting for him, man. You saw the interim coach. What's his name? The brother. He was crying a couple weeks ago. This is for us.
Come on, show by the way after the season.
Bring him on the show.
I believe he's the next head coach because Harbaugh's going to be a Charger.
Hey, we shall see, man. But those emotions showed you how much this means to them and how much they're backing Harbaugh. So hell no, Michigan winning it.
I'm saying hell yeah. Washington is going to be the national champion. Mark my words. Jalen Milrose panicked and lost the game for Bama. Hell yeah or hell no?
Hell no. I don't believe he panicked. I think it was a horrible ass snap. At the end of the day, put him in a bad spot. I don't believe he actually would have scored a touchdown on that play. I think, yeah, he would have a potential shot. I see what you're looking at. Of course, I'm a football guy. Power, guard pull, stays tight. Everything goes perfect. I get it, but football ain't perfect. And I believe that DN or whatever who was on that edge, if you would have saw Milroe running more at that angle, he would have slowed down and changed his angle as well. So, hey, listen, it's a lot of guessing and all that. Who knows? But like T. Rich said, without Milroe, they wouldn't even be in that position in the first place. So hell no.
Hell yeah, he panicked, number one. Number two, that was his first time being in that position. Number three, we've had bad snaps our entire life as quarterbacks. We should coach at every practice. We should be in an athletic stance. We should have knee bend. Allen, did we not practice it every day? High and low snap every day in practice pregame? So, having said that, next year he won't panic. And the eye in the sky don't lie, Big Smitty. The defensive end, if he would have did this, if he would have did that. No, the eye in the sky don't lie, Big Smitty. He was up the field on the play that we're talking about. There is no debate on what he could have did. He did it. It is the play we watched. He's fucking a wide nine up the field. He didn't crash into the quarterback. It is what we saw. If he follows the guard, he scores. There ain't no changing up what the DN did. We can't change up what he did. It's not John Madden. He fucking did what we saw on the field. The guy scores, but Alabama wins the game. All right. Hell yeah, he panicked like a motherfucking whore in church. He was scared as shit. Lakers will trade for Kevin Durant. Hell yeah, hell no.
Hell no. These are all hell no so far, man. Lakers not trading for no Kevin. It's just not realistic. I'm a Kevin Durant fan. I don't think JB is. I'm a Kevin Durant fan, actually. It's just not realistic. They're not about to trade for Kevin Durant, have Kevin Durant, LeBron, and AD on the same team. And I don't even know if that would work. It sounds good on paper, but I don't know if the positionally that would even make sense, honestly. So hell no, it's not happening. It's not realistic. We're throwing out rumors that are false.
Smitty knows something because he know I wouldn't have that question on there out of nowhere.
What you saying?
If I didn't have some sort of resource. Okay.
That's my lie. You see, take my lie. Yeah.
Let me throw this out there real quick.
Throw it then. You the quarterback.
Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. KD's a Laker. And D'Lo, Reeves, Taurean Prince, and 2 draft picks are sent to the Suns.
That sounds very specific.
Sure does. Anyway, hell yeah, hell no. Rams are a serious Super Bowl contender.
Damn, y'all giving me all these hell no's. Listen, it's a good story. It's a feel-good story.
I said contender. I didn't say champ.
No, we're not no Super Bowl contenders. I'm just being real. I don't know if they're going to be.
You don't think the Rams are Super Bowl contenders playing as hot as they are?
No.
Okay, all right, let me ask you this.
No.
Let me rephrase the question. Hell yeah, hell no. It's our show. We can do what we want. Hell yeah, hell no. The Rams are the hottest team in football right now.
Carry the one.
Let me rephrase it again. I would say the Ravens are the
hottest. The Ravens, I'm about to lie.
Let me rephrase it again. Hell yeah, hell no. The Rams are the scariest team in football right now.
Scariest team. You gonna get pissed.
It's one of these 3 motherfuckers.
You gonna Hey y'all, he wanted me to give it to him. Paul, he want me to give it to him bad.
Listen, I'm telling you the truth. I said the Ravens are probably the best team, or the hottest team. I would say the Rams are the scariest team, and you would say they're the hottest if they would have beat that Baltimore team that 5 weeks ago.
But JB, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna say hell no. I'm gonna say the Bills are the scariest for me. Josh Allen, they scare me more.
I think the Rams, the Browns, and the Bills are the 3 scariest teams.
Yeah, the Browns too. I think both of them are more scary.
Those are the 3 scariest teams entering the playoffs.
And you got Rams at the top of the Browns right now and scariest?
Yeah, because of this. There's a common denominator. Flacco has a Super Bowl. Stafford has a Super Bowl. So I'm going to put him ahead of Josh Allen for that regard in the Bills. Those 2. So I'm going to put the Rams and the Browns atop of the Bills and the 3 scariest. Okay. So now it's between the Browns and the Rams.
Who defense better?
Browns.
Okay. Who got more weapons all across the board?
I'm always going to take a better quarterback, though. Stafford is the best quarterback in the NFL, period. And they have better wideouts. And Amari Cooper's been hurt. I hope he comes back and Flacco and him reunite and get that camaraderie back as they were having, because Amari Cooper was shattering some records, on pace for breaking some records. 200-yard game. Amari's top 5 receiver in football when he's healthy. He always has been. he's kind of just been a forgotten guy over the last 5 years because of all the injuries and moving around and all the shit. But when he plays, he is a dude. He reminds me of a faster Mike Evans, and it is what it is. Let's just do 5 today. We'll get out of here. We'll do 5 tomorrow.
Yep.
Hell yeah, hell no. Will Justin Fields be a Chicago Bear next year?
Ooh. Damn, this is a tough question. I think he should, JB. I think he should. I'm going to say hell yeah. I'm going to say hell yeah, man. Last week, the fan base in Chicago was cheering for him, saying, we want Justin. We want Justin. He's been looking good to end the season. I know the argument, well, he always looks good to end the season, but what about the whole first half? I get it. But I just think this guy is really maturing. I think you give him another weapon to add along DJ Moore, give him some protection. I've always believed in Justin. Has he scared me a couple times? Yes. But the talent, I love him in college at Ohio State. His athleticism is out of this world. I think you put the right weapons around the right system, this guy can be a really good quarterback in today's league. So I'm gonna say hell yeah, he stays. But if he does not work out and Caleb Williams balls out somewhere else, that whole front office is getting let go. Everybody, coach, staff, the janitor, GAs, whoever, they all getting let go. So it's very risky.
Man, I hope he is. Just because I like the kid, I think he is getting better. I just don't know if he's ever going to be that guy to like win a Super Bowl or anything. But I do think he has a huge upside and can get better if you surround him with some better talent. You're the guy that's Lamar ain't never had no talent. Well, he's got it now, right? I say you keep him. If you go backwards, the Bears are going to go backwards as an organization. And going backwards to me means drafting another rookie quarterback and starting all over once again. And that is just what it is. And I don't think you can afford to do it.
Hold on, but answer it the right way. Hell yeah or hell no?
Hell yeah, he'll be a Bear.
All right, there we go.
I think it's too much. There's too much that negativity, in my opinion, if you get rid of him.
Yeah, I agree too. My only thing is
with a receiver and a running back or an old lineman or something.
My only argument is that they missed out on the opportunity to get Patrick Mahomes. They got Mitch Trubisky. They missed out. If they miss out on Caleb Williams and Caleb ends up being who everybody and their mama think he about to be, it's gonna be like, damn, Chicago, y'all ain't never had a quarterback. And y'all fucked up twice.
We took Ryan Leaf over Peyton Manning. I mean, we got all these different. There's always been that. So.
But you know the Bears ain't really never, in respect, but they never really had like a quarterback for real, like just like a you know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy.
Jim McMahon was a dude. He was a dude. Won a Super Bowl. He was a dude. They had a defense though, but you could argue, that they'll,
all-time defense. You talking about the '85 Bears?
Yeah.
I hear you, but I mean, JB, you could have quarterbacked that team, probably won.
86 year, the Bears was back in the mix again. And the thing is, like, Jim McMahon could throw it now. He could spin it. He just was an unorthodox guy at that time because he was like, he was outlandish. Like nowadays, he would be, canceled too. That's another guy. Like, so Jay Cutler was the most talented quarterback they've ever had.
He just didn't give a fuck. Like,
but he had big time arm talent. He was Aaron Rodgers-esque.
Oh yeah. When he locked in, he was amazing.
Yeah, he just had that Romo issue, no it factor. Yeah. So it is what it is. Smitty is going to be back. We'll be back tomorrow for Free Game Friday. We got Jeff Nadu. We got Derek Anderson. We got Michelle, our lawyer extraordinaire, Michigan Wolverine alum. We got Big Matt. We got a loaded show tomorrow. And we'll end the week with a bang. So pound the like button, subscribe, become a member. And we got a lot more to discuss tomorrow that we didn't get to talk about today. So much love to all you guys. Go get Mint Mobile today. Go to Bet Online, Prize Picks. And if you need to move something, go on, check out AQMS. We'll be back in about 21 hours, God permitting. And Don't be a slapdick. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Missing, we switched it and filled the gap. Smitty and Jason Brown, we killed it, yeah, it's a wrap. We what the games we missing, we switched it and filled the gap.
You are now tuned in to the Coach JB